every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known wait for it, to mankind! This is the official Lightning Flash update for January 23rd, 2020. As we sit just 8 short days away from the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And things are heating up in a big way. Ladies and gentlemen, let's check the chat. Roll call. Where is the DJ Storms posse at? Turn the volume up. Hang on one sec. Is that a little better? We're good, right? I just turned the volume up a little bit more. Should be okay. Can you hear me? Am I coming in clear? I need y'all to work with me here. Let me know if I'm coming in clear. Let's check the chat, see where the DJ Storms posse's at. We got Danielle watching. Of course, Danielle was here before anybody else. I know that her girl Kay, David Maniscalco, they're watching. Jojo Donahoe, how you doing? We got Adam. Here. How are you? So we're good. No echo, right? No echo coming through. Everything's clear. Gimme. There we go. Just keep me updated. No echo coming through. Making sure everything's running smoothly. We need to get more people in here. Hey! Kevin Fiola, how are you, sir? Welcome. Things are just heating up. Danielle says it is perfect. That is excellent to hear. We are going to share it out to a few more people, and then we just might get started. We got that person in there. Who else? We got Big Boy Johnny. I know Big Boy Johnny will be stopping by in a little bit. Proud Mixed Child, how are you? Please hit that thumbs up. Everyone who is not at the thumbs up, we're almost at 10 thumbs up already. I need y'all to hit the thumbs up when you come in. Hit that thumbs up when you come in. It is vital, people. It is vital. Trust me, we'll be getting a lot more people in here, I assume. But obviously, we got the loyal members of the DJ Storms posse. Of course, we got Mixed Child, Kevin Fiola, Adams in here. We'll get a lot more. Hopefully, Nick Fury will show up. Who else do we need? Where's Hannah Bliss? I don't know why Hannah Bliss is not in the chat. That's a little disappointing. We'll probably see Hannah a little later on. We will probably see Hannah a little later on. Let's send out. There we go. Who else do we need? We need this guy in there. Sending out. Yeah, we need the thumbs up. Come on, we need the thumbs up. We got a lot of good people in here. A lot of good brothers and sisters in here. A lot of DJ Storms posse members in here, but not enough. Whoa! Is that Alan Holland? I think it is. Alan Holland, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while, brother. How have you been? Mr. Alan Holland? Please hit that thumbs up if you haven't already done so. We are almost at 10 thumbs up, and we are not even 10 minutes into the stream. It's actually going very, very, very well. Thank you very much. I appreciate you dropping by. Hopefully you'll stay for the entirety of the stream because we got a lot of good stuff to go over. We got a lot of material to dissect. This is going 3 hours, of course. I mean, when does my streams not go 3 hours? I mean, come on. You're talking to DJ Storms. I'm the king of the community. I'm the king of the world, baby. I'm the king of the world. Never forget that. Never, ever forget who's the king. Y'all answer to me. Remember that. You know it. You already know who I am. Are you entering the Royal Rumble now? You're entering the Royal Rumble now. Oh, we just hit 10 likes. See, that's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. You've been off the grid for a while, bro. You've been off the grid for a hot minute, my friend. I don't know where you've been. But anyway. Oh, wait a second. Is that? Oh, Cool King, a.k.a. Rob Wells Jr. Man, I was waiting for you to join. I was waiting for you, bro. I was waiting for you. How are you, my friend? Nice of you to drop by. The connection's excellent. The mic's working great, supposedly. Danielle said it's perfect. There is no echo. Please keep me updated on if there are any technical difficulties, and I will do my best to fix them. We got 10 likes already, and I think it's about time that we get started. Wouldn't you agree, everyone? I would assume Adam would agree. Danielle, Cool King, Alan Holland, Proud Mixed Child, Kevin Fiola. Everyone would agree. I think it's time to get the party started. So, with that being said, first things first, we're going to get through some self-brand promotion and advertisements. If you guys haven't already done so, I need y'all to follow me on, you guessed it, the Twitter sticks. The Twitter sticks at History Maker DJS. You'll find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Please follow me on the Twitter sticks. I need you guys to follow me on Instagram as well at the DJ Storms. Add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com for all interest in collaboration and business inquiries with me. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. I would assume almost everyone here is a part of the DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. Only the elite members of the DJ Storms Posse get to be a part of that Facebook group. Of course, all the links are in the description. Please go check them out. I know my man Cameron Johnson, he's going to be in here any minute. He is in here. He's going to be in here any minute. And me and him, we are actually working on a collaboration. I'm going to be appearing on his podcast sooner rather than later to dissect and predict the Royal Rumble 2021. Speaking of the Royal Rumble 2021, my man Earl Cole, who's not in here yet, he'll be in here later. But my man Earl Cole, he's going to be appearing on the channel once again. He is back in action. The boys are back in town because on January 29th, 2 days before the Royal Rumble on Friday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, me and Earl Cole, we're going to be joining forces yet again as we will dissect everything going down at the Rumble. He's going to be my guest on the rundown for the Royal Rumble 2021. That is, of course, on January 29th, 2021 at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Set your calendar dates. You are not going to want to miss it. Of course, Lightning Flash Update will be streaming next week, and I will have the rewind for the Royal Rumble up ASAP. Hopefully, I'll be able to have that up by February 1st, depending on if I'm working or not, depending on how early I want to get up. I'm going to keep you guys updated on that, but we have a lot of videos coming in the future. Of course, we got the rundown. For TakeOver on Valentine's Day. I'm going to be getting a guest for that one. We got the rundown for Elimination Chamber, which is rumored to take place on the 21st of February. We got the rundown for Revolution, I believe, which is on February 27th. So we got a lot of things in the books for the DJ Storms brand. You are not going to want to miss a single solitary moment of it. If you guys haven't already done so, I don't understand why you wouldn't have done so. I need y'all to like the video, hit the thumbs up if you haven't already done so, ladies and gentlemen. We are at 11 thumbs up already. We are at 11 thumbs up already. We need to set a goal. What should the goal be for today? Let's check the last few lightning flash up. Let's check the analytics. We're going to check the analytics live here. The analytics of the last 3 lightning flash updates. The one at the beginning of the year got 27 likes. The one on the 9th got 43, and then the one last week got 29. I don't know. I think we can get to 40 likes. Well, there's number 12. There's like number 12. I think we can get to 40 likes. So here's what I want y'all to do. If you haven't already liked the stream, please like the stream. And if you haven't already done so, I need y'all to share out the stream on all platforms of social media, whether it be Pinterest, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or Tumblr. I need y'all to share out the stream on all platforms, social media. There's Cameron Johnson. Cameron Johnson, I will be appearing on your podcast sooner rather than later. We'll be dissecting and predicting the Royal Rumble. If you guys haven't already done so, like the stream and share it out on all platforms of social media. Tell everyone, text everyone, tell your moms, your dads, your parents, your grandparents, your children, your children's children. You gotta tell everyone, your dogs, your cats, your hamsters, your guinea pigs, your aunts, your uncles. I need y'all to tell everyone about DJ Storms, because DJ Storms is live on YouTube on a Saturday, and there's only one way to spend your Saturday, and that's with good old DJ Storms. So please, share it out on all platforms of social media. My friend Brittany K is messaging me on Instagram. Come on, I'm live! I'm live here! Let's see what's going on. I'm live on YouTube. Come on in. I told her to come on in. I'm live here on YouTube. Thank you very much for sharing me out. Oh, Danielle said that she shared me out. Let's check Danielle's Twitter. Let us check Danielle's Twitter. Ooh. Danielle, she's not lying. She did share it out. Thank you very much. I just retweeted it. Thank you very much. So, with that being said, keep sharing it out. And if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, as we are going to try and continue the reign of dominance of DJ Storms. YouTube did purge some of my subscribers, but I have gained some back. So I'm moving up in the world. I'm at 2,110 subscribers. I want to see if I can get about 10 more subscribers within the next week or two. So I'm going to need you guys to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Share out the stream. Tell everyone about DJ Storms. And of course, when you hit the subscribe button to help me grow and expand, you got to hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. It's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination. And this beautiful mustache right here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Is it in here? No, that's not. Look at that. Yeah, come on. Everybody wants a piece of the Storms Meister. Anyway, enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. I think we are going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports. So keep the chat alive. Keep sharing out the stream. We are at 13 likes. I want to get to at least 40 likes, but I need your help. Tell everyone that you can. We are going to get into the news, rumors, and reports, and we're going to start off by talking about the most obvious one, which you can tell by the thumbnail and you can tell by the title of the video. WWE not really operating very smartly when it comes to their pay-per-view scheduling. So apparently, my first report, we'll get started here. PW Insider reports that WWE is planning on bringing back the Fastlane pay-per-view on March 21st, 2021 in the WWE Thunderdome. Now, I don't understand what the point of this is. WWE recently just announced WrestleMania 37 in Raymond James Stadium as a two-night event. And that's going to take place on April 10th and April 11th. Why are you having a pay-per-view 3 weeks before WrestleMania? Why not focus the month of March on building towards WrestleMania and making the storylines across Raw and SmackDown feel important? Because nothing across Raw or SmackDown feels important right now outside of Roman Reigns. And I'm going to state this again. I've been stating this for a while now. Coincidentally, that does not have any creative influence from Vince McMahon or Bruce Pritchard. Further validating the point, saying that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard need to be removed from their positions. Outside of Roman Reigns, nothing feels important across Raw and SmackDown combined. So I don't understand why you wouldn't focus on building up the storylines towards WrestleMania through the month of March on Raw and SmackDown. Why do we need another pay-per-view? Because if we have another pay-per-view, then it's like an obligatory reason for your world champions to defend the championship. No one needs to defend the championship 3 weeks before WrestleMania. You have the Elimination Chamber set on February 21st. That's a nice bridge. That's a nice bridge towards the WrestleMania pay-per-view. If SmackDown takes the Royal Rumble, let's just say coincidentally we get either Bayley or Bianca winning the Rumble and Bryan wins the Rumble. Then you can have a Raw Elimination Chamber match for both the men and the women to decide who faces the Raw Women's Champion and the WWE Champion at WrestleMania 37. You could have Asuka in there. Asuka's going to be off the pay-per-view. She could watch the Elimination Chamber match. We could have Peyton Royce in there. Charlotte's in there. Shayna in there. Mandy Rose. Nia Jax. And who else? Probably Alexa Bliss in there. And that's the Women's Elimination Chamber match, and more likely than not, Charlotte will get the win, because you know that they're building towards Charlotte eventually taking the title off of Asuka. But we have that Women's Elimination Chamber, and then we got the Men's Elimination Chamber. We could have Sheamus in there, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, Jeff Hardy, Elias, and AJ Styles. And then Sheamus wins the Elimination Chamber, and Sheamus faces McIntyre. Then, you got those two Elimination Chamber matches. Then, if Roman Reigns is not defending the title inside the Elimination Chamber, you give him an obligatory title defense at the Elimination Chamber. He can face Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, I'm not saying Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win, but after what happened with Shinsuke Nakamura, he definitely deserves an opportunity. You can't just leave that shit open. So, that's 3 matches right there. Then, you could have something like, I don't know, maybe the Street Profits versus Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. If we do see something like that. Maybe we see Sami Zayn versus Big E versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental title. Maybe we see Bobby Lashley defend the U.S. title against who, I don't know. Maybe we see Sasha Banks in an obligatory title defense against Natalya. Something like that. But that's not necessarily a bad-looking card. That's a decent-looking Elimination Chamber card, if I do say so myself. And then that's the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania. Why do you need to put another Fastlane pay-per-view out there and pretty much put out there in the open that you need to have champions defend their titles 3 weeks before WrestleMania? It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why WWE is bringing back Fastlane, and undoubtedly, it's the wrong decision. Is that Jess? Where have you been? You've been MIA for a while. You're at work right now watching me. My God. Do not blame me if you get in trouble. You haven't missed a rant yet. Oh, no, trust me. We're going to be ranting. And don't worry, you didn't miss me praising Casey yet. I'm not dabbing. You didn't miss me praising Casey yet, so don't worry about that. But Danielle, I'm not dabbing. But those are my thoughts on Fastlane pay-per-view coming back. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to move on to the next report. We got a couple of reports to go over. We actually had a report on Superstar Spectacle. Fightful reported that WWE Superstar Spectacle, according to PW Insider, was taped on January 22nd, which was yesterday, from the Capitol Wrestling Center. Johnson noted that there will be technical rehearsals. Superstar Spectacle is actually set to air on India Republic Day on Tuesday, January 26th. The show will premiere exclusively on Sony 10.1 and Sony 10.3, Sony 10 Max, all in India. Broadcast details for the US have yet to be announced, although I don't really believe that anyone really gives a shit about Superstar Spectacle except for the people in India. It's pretty much just another show worth of content. I mean, as long as it keeps Jinder Mahal off of Monday Night Raw, I don't think anyone's going to complain there. But I don't think anyone overall really gives a shit about Superstar Spectacle. For those of you who do give a shit about Superstar Spectacle, that's going down. That already went down. India's getting it early. I'm not sure when the U.S. broadcast is going to air. Quite frankly, I don't care. So, coming up next, we got a report from WrestleVotes. WrestleVotes actually tweeted out a couple of newsworthy tweets. One of them was an update on fans being allowed at WrestleMania 37. So, the tweet read from WrestleVotes, and I quote, WWE is planning on permitting upwards of 25,000 fans for WrestleMania on each night. The real internal discussions are what to do after. Some would like a soft reopening of the touring schedule for live TVs, as continuing the Thunderdome post-Mania comes with location headaches, end quote. At this rate, I don't even think WWE knows what the climate of the world's going to be like. I mean, Biden has already done a shit job as president, and we're only like 4 fucking days into his presidential term. Biden's absolute shit. So I don't know what the world climate's going to be like. He's already backtracking on a lot of his promises, but I don't know what the world climate is going to be like. I would like to assume that considering that the COVID vaccine is out, that a lot more people will be vaccinated and the cases are going to start to go down within the next few months. At least by my logic, I would assume that the cases will go down within the next few months. And then by then, I would assume WWE would probably make a decision. I don't know if there's going to be a soft reopening of the touring schedule. It mainly depends. It mainly depends on how many cases there are within each state and how many people actually catch COVID, how many people have gotten the vaccine, how effective the vaccine has been working. I know for a fact that there's going to be a lot of people monitored between now and Easter. Well, people are already being monitored for getting the COVID vaccine. People are going to be monitored all the way up until Easter to see if there's any side effects or there needs to be any modifications made. I would assume that by then we'll have a better understanding. We'll have a better understanding on what the COVID vaccine does and how effective it is, if the cases are going to start to go down, if businesses are going to start to reopen, if larger gatherings are going to be permitted, stuff like that. And I would assume by then they'll probably make a decision as things progress. I don't think any decisions can be made right now because it's still very early. But by the time WrestleMania is over, I would assume that they'll make a decision on whether or not they want to continue with the touring schedule or they want to go forth with the Thunderdome. We'll find out. But 25,000 fans in attendance for WrestleMania, I don't necessarily mind that. But ultimately, it really comes down to what they do in terms of storyline, in terms of building up the matches and portraying the talent like they're actually worthy of being on WrestleMania. Because you take a look at last year's WrestleMania, and about 65% of the matches that we saw on last year's WrestleMania card, maybe even more than that, didn't even belong on WrestleMania. And the matches that did belong on WrestleMania didn't even get enough time. They legitimately seemed like they just wanted to rush through everything. It was quite sad, to be quite honest. It was quite sad. So ultimately, I don't really care how many fans are allowed in attendance for WrestleMania. All I care about is if they give us a show worthy of being called WrestleMania. Whether the storylines are great, whether they build up great superstars, they portray great matches, great feuds, great angles. You know what I'm talking about. That's been my motto since day one with this pandemic. I don't care whether it's one fan, no fans, 25,000 fans. I don't care whether it's in the Performance Center, the Capitol Wrestling Center, the Thunderdome, Tropicana Field, Raymond James Stadium. I don't care. All I care about is that you give us a good wrestling show, fans or not. Because AEW and NXT UK has been operating better with no fucking fans at all. And WWE, they got this big presentation. They're gonna get the fucking Raymond James Stadium with 25,000 fans, and they still can't put on a decent fucking show. I mean, just look at what we got with Monday Night Raw. But that's an update from WrestleVotes. I got another tweet from WrestleVotes, which I will read later on. Moving on to a report from Fightful Select. They reported something on Jessamyn Duke. For those of you who've been keeping up to date with NXT, they recently just started the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and Marina Shafir has a different partner. Fightful Select reported that Jessamyn Duke is not injured. She's not in the Women's Dusty Classic because she wanted to focus on creating content for Xavier Woods' Up, Up, Down, Down YouTube channel. NXT's plan was always for Marina Shafir to have a different partner. Although I really don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit whether it's Marina Shafir or Jessamyn Duke or Marina Shafir or another partner. Marina Shafir and Jessamyn Duke are two horrible professional wrestlers. They have really not improved whatsoever, which is part of the reason why I believe Triple H took them off of television. So I'll keep you up to date on that if anyone is interested, although I don't really think anyone really gave a shit. I got a report from Wrestling Observer Live's Brian Alvarez, and Jess, I believe you might be interested in this. Wrestling Observer Live's Brian Alvarez said that even though it sounds crazy, a person in NXT told him that this week's episode of NXT was the beginning of a heel turn for Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro. Now that, I don't know how that's going to work, because when I look at Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro, I do not see heels at all. I see pure babyface. It is hard for me to look at Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro and think anything but babyface. Now, I did have some doubts about Swerve, but Swerve is actually playing his heel role very, very well. Even though he's not being showcased too much on NXT, Swerve is actually portraying his heel role very, very well, and I will give Swerve credit there. I will give Swerve credit where credit is due. So, I don't really know where this is leading to, but here's what I will say. First things first, I am happy that Casey and Caden Carter got the win, and I'm happy they advanced. They did excellent. I thought it was a good match, nothing too crazy, but it was a good match with Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. I'm assuming, Jess, you still send my streams to Casey, and I'm sure she's watching, so how you doing, Casey? How you doing? But that I thought that was a little interesting. I don't see it playing out, especially considering that we're going to see Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai advance to the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic semifinals, and more likely not, they could win the whole thing. They're my pick. Raquel and Dakota Kai are my pick. But we'll see what happens there. I did not expect this report to come out, and I really do not see Casey and Caden as heels. I really don't. It's going to be very, very hard for me to look at them and think anything but babyface. So I thought that was interesting. Let me know what you guys think there. Let me know what you guys think there. Last report, and then I promise I'm going to check the chat. I'm going to check the chat after this last report before we get into the weekly show reviews. I promise. I promise. So, WrestleVotes, again. WrestleVotes. WrestleVotes yesterday tweeted out 2 major updates regarding WrestleMania. This does not have to do with anything regarding fans. This has to do with the major matches being planned for WrestleMania. Now, there were 2 tweets. The tweets read, first one, and I quote, "Once a decision was made to run the 2-night card for Mania, the creative team started working on quote-unquote bigger ideas. Thought is WWE now needs 4 major matches, 2 per show. That probably requires outside assistance from big names. Cena and Goldberg nearly locks. Rock unlikely. Taker TBD." This was a follow-up tweet. Follow up on the Taker part. Majority of those backstage think he's done, and rightfully so. However, it only takes one call from a usually convince, and they capitalized VINC, convincing man to change all that. End quote. Now, you know for a fact that all Vince McMahon needs to do is make the call, and Taker's going to come flying back, because Taker always answers to Vince McMahon. His motto is remain loyal to Vince and always do what Vince says. So, ultimately, it's going to come down to what Vince thinks. If Vince wants Taker, he's going to call up Taker, and Taker will be there in 2 seconds flat. Now, I don't understand why you need Cena and Goldberg. I really don't understand that. And it honestly makes me believe that Goldberg is going to win the WWE Championship. He's either winning the WWE title and doing a unification match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, which a lot of people were calling. I brushed it off, but apparently that could be a reality now. He's either winning the title from Drew, and he's going to face Roman title for title at WrestleMania, and Roman's going to win both titles. Or we're going to see Goldberg lose to McIntyre. He's going to win the Royal Rumble, enter the Royal Rumble, win the Royal Rumble, kind of similar to what Roman Reigns did in 2017, even though he didn't win. But he's going to enter the Royal Rumble, is Goldberg. He's going to win, and he's going to face Roman for the Universal title at WrestleMania, just for the fucking hell of it. The Rock ain't coming back anytime soon, nor do we need The Rock. But I don't understand WWE's mentality of, why do you need these old fucking timers? Why do you need superstars of the past? Why not focus on the superstars that you have now? This is the frustration of a lot of talent in WWE. And WWE doesn't even need to do that. They're already a household name. They're already an established name. They're putting on, undoubtedly, the worst shows that they've ever put on in the history of their company. They're putting on the worst shows that they've ever put on in the history of their company, and their ratings are still above a 1.5 million. Think about that. Think. Their ratings are still above a 1.5 million, and they're putting on some of the worst television shows that we've ever fucking seen. So, if by that statistic alone, by that fact alone, why does WWE feel like they need these legends coming back? Why do we fucking need Goldberg? Why do we need, why do we need 90-second match Berg? I don't understand. Why do we need You Can't See Me John Cena? Why do we need the movie star John? Why do we need Dwayne John Cena Johnson? I don't get it. Why do we need these people? Why do we need Undertaker? Why do we need Rest in Peace? Why do we need him? Why can't we do Roman and Bryan, Sheamus and McIntyre, and if you want to use Goldberg or you want to use Cena, have them face someone like a Lars Sullivan or Keith Lee and put them over? Or am I just too intelligent? Am I just too smart? Those are your news, rumors, and reports. Those are your fucking news, rumors, and reports. Unreal. We're going to get into the weekly show reviews. Before we get into the weekly show reviews, we have 7 weekly shows to go over, but we're going to check the chat. We got 16 people watching and only 14 likes. You see, that's a problem. That's a problem. Let's check the chat. Jess says she does still send my streams to Casey. God bless you. You are an absolute sweetheart. Furious Nation, Nick Fury. I had a feeling you would join. Please hit that thumbs up if you haven't already done so, Mr. Nick Fury. We got Peanuts. Peanuts is in the chat. Thank you very much for stopping by. Cool King, oh my god, rant mode was definitely activated, bro. Rant mode was activated, and trust me, I got plenty left in the tank. Trust me on that. Oh, trust me, we're going to tear Monday Night Raw to shreds. We're going to tear Monday Night Raw to shreds. Danielle, I know, she's ready for a rant. See, that was a little mini rant, but now we're going to get into the real rants. Now we're going to get into the real rants on Monday Night Snore. Oh, trust me. Trust me when I tell you, you are not going to want to miss a moment of this. What the fuck is Ruben? Ruben! The hell is Ruben tweeting about? I don't know why Ruben is blowing up my Twitter right now. Where's Ruben? Let me send this to Ruben. Send this to Ruben. Get him in here. We got 16 likes so far. We're itching close. We're almost halfway to 40. 40 likes is the goal. 40 likes is the goal. Cameron Johnson knows what's up. Cameron Johnson knows what's up. I think that we should talk about Monday Night Raw. Let's begin. I'm going to check the chat after Monday Night Raw. Let's rip Monday Night Raw to shreds. Shall we? Shall we? Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw. What do I say? Really? What do I say? What do I say about Monday Night Raw? What do I say? Honest to God, what do I say about Monday Night Raw? What do I say about Monday Night Raw that I haven't already said about Monday Night Raw? Literally, nothing that I will say here about Monday Night Raw is going to be any different from the next guy. Nothing that I've said here about Monday Night Raw is going to be any different from what I've said about Monday Night Raw for the last 3 weeks of the year. This is my 4th stream of the year. This is the 4th Lightning Flash update of 2021, and I have not said anything. I have not said anything different about Monday Night Raw than I have the last 3 streams. It's the same shit. The same fucking shit. Over and over and over again. And I am, quite frankly, sick of it! Everyone is. But we're going to get into it. Randy Orton was in a dark room, and I know Danielle was watching Monday Night Raw. She was watching Monday Night Raw, tweeting along Monday Night Raw with me. What's going on over here? I got something on my laptop right over here. What's going on over here? There we go. Better? There we go. That's a little better. So, Randy Orton. Randy Orton was in a dark room. He was wearing a mask to cover the burns. He was wearing a mask to cover the burns that he caught with the fucking fireball that Alexa Bliss threw at him last week. So this fucking lucha mask was on Randy Orton. He was in a dark room. He said, "The voices in my head have never been louder." It's like he just got facial surgery. He was wearing this cloth-like mask. He said, "He showed compassion, and the pure hatred for myself needed to be redirected. My next victim came like a lamb to slaughter until she interrupted. And now look at me. This is the damnation I receive for showing compassion. I can't sleep because every time I close my eyes, I see that ball of fire hurling towards my face. I wear this mask to protect myself and shield everyone from the horror I endured." Horror? Yeah. We endure horror every week when we watch Monday Night Raw. It is horror. To be quite honest, I don't know why I still do this. Actually, I know why I still do this. I still do this because The people that watch, Adam and Ruben and Nick Fury, Danielle, Jess, you all love it when I yell and scream. That's why I watch Monday Night Raw. Because you love it when I yell and scream. And it gets me likes and it gets me views. That's why I do it. He continued by saying, I don't blame her. I blame him. I blame the Fiend. And I sent him straight to hell. Alexa was merely the vehicle. The Fiend wants to stop me from achieving the inevitable. He's implying winning the Royal Rumble, obviously. You can chop off all my limbs, and it won't stop me from winning the Royal Rumble. I will remain in the Rumble. And the funny thing is, I enjoy the pain. It fuels my every move, and everyone can thank the Fiend when I burn their Royal Rumble dreams to ashes, and I go on to main event, WrestleMania. And that was that. And that was that. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. I don't think it's just me, but at this rate, they don't even give a shit what they're doing with Randy Orton. Randy Orton probably had one of the best 2020s. Randy Orton was probably the best booked character on Monday Night Raw throughout all of 2020, and now look at where he is. At this rate, they're just waiting. They're just waiting for Edge to come back so they can wrap up his storyline with Randy Orton. Where Randy Orton goes after that, I don't know. I don't know. And to be quite honest, I really don't even give a shit. WWE has taken Randy Orton, and he went from the best booked character on Monday Night Raw to someone who I just don't give a shit about. It is literally impossible for me to give a shit about Randy Orton. All I want is for this feud with Edge to get wrapped up, which more likely than not, it will get wrapped up at WrestleMania. And then, what happens after that? I don't know. I don't know, and I don't give a shit. Edge will probably go on, and he'll be a challenger for McIntyre, which I would not mind seeing. Edge and McIntyre, that's a very intriguing matchup. Edge and McIntyre for the WWE title. Edge puts over McIntyre. He enhances McIntyre. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. Where does Orton go? I don't know, and I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Edge, more likely than not, will come back at the Rumble, and Edge, more likely than not, is going to eliminate Randy Orton. Charlotte Flair versus Peyton Royce. Number one, this is your weekly reminder. Fuck Charlotte Flair and all of her supporters. Fuck Charlotte Flair and all of her supporters. They can suck my Italian sausage. I really don't know what you want me to say about this shit. I really don't know what you want me to say about this shit. Here's what I will say. I want to say one positive thing. I know it may sound crazy, but I want to say one positive thing. Peyton Royce, I can sense. I can sense that Peyton Royce wants to try. And she's legitimately trying to work on her in-ring ability. I want to say that Peyton Royce is actually trying to wrestle, and she wants to get better. I feel as though what she's been doing, she wants to get better. And I can appreciate that. She's not good. She's not great. She's not good. She's not great. But she has potential. The potential is there. The potential is there. I understand that Peyton Royce wants to get better. And I feel as though that she wants to get better. But putting her in a match with Charlotte Flair ain't going to do that. Because Charlotte Flair don't make anyone look good. This ain't Sasha. This ain't Bayley. This ain't Becky. They don't make anyone look good. They don't make anyone look good. Charlotte Flair don't make anyone look good. The other horsewomen, they have intentions of making other people look good. They have intentions of making other people look good. Charlotte, I don't know what the fuck Charlotte Flair has been on, but Charlotte Flair, she has been sloppy as shit. She has been sloppy as shit outside of that triple threat tag team match that we saw on SmackDown on Christmas Day, Charlotte Flair's been sloppy as shit. She has been fucking terrible. Putting Peyton Royce in a match with Charlotte Flair ain't gonna fucking do jack shit. Now, this match was not as bad. This wasn't as bad as the match with Lacey Evans, but it was still bad. Royce attacked Charlotte before the bell even rang. Refs came down to separate both women. Flair, as in Ric Flair, actually came out strutting again. And Lacey Evans was wearing a purple robe. She was wearing a purple robe, and the announcer said, "Wow, I didn't think that Lacey Evans could wear Ric Flair's robe." Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me just say something. I'm no genius, but I'm pretty sure that Ric Flair never wore a purple Chinese-looking ceremonial robe. What the fuck was Lacey Evans wearing? I don't know what the fuck that was, but that sure as hell was not a Ric Flair robe. So, Royce, with some elbow strikes and some swift kicks to Flair. Again, I will say, she looks like she's actually trying. Flair then locked in the figure eight. Royce tapped out. And Flair kept the submission on to send a statement to Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. And that's pretty much that. I don't know where the fuck they're going with Charlotte Flair. And to be quite honest, I don't care. I really don't know what the motive here is. I don't know whether we're going to see Charlotte and Asuka lose the women's tag team titles to Lacey and Peyton. I hope fucking not. I don't know whether we're going to see another match with the Riot Squad. We saw a match with the Riot Squad on SmackDown that really wasn't that good anyway. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but again, I don't understand why you didn't just do Charlotte and Asuka at the Rumble just to get it the fuck over with. Just to get it the fuck over with. Nobody wants it. Nobody cares about it. The only people that want it are the Charlotte Flair stans. Just get it over with. Why do we need to wait until WrestleMania to get it? We already know Charlotte Flair's the next Raw Women's Champion. Just fucking do it. And get it over with. That way we can focus on who's going to take the title off of Charlotte. Unreal. We got Mace, Disgrace. He was accompanied to the ring by Retribution, Mustafa Ali, T-Balls, who's a fucking idiot. And then we had Applejack, Kangaroo Jack, Jack Black, Jack Off. Reckoning was not there. Ali got in Xavier Woods' face before Woods caught him with a right hand before the match began. So we get the match. Woods came back with a drop kick to the knee, and the honor roll was stopped, though. Woods with an enziguri. Woods with a drop kick to Ali. Ali said, "Shut him down." Retribution then surrounded the ring. Mace took advantage with a fireman's carry into an air raid crash drop, and Mace defeats Xavier Woods. Same thing as last week. They brought up the fact that Kofi Kingston has a broken jaw, courtesy of Cedric Alexander. Kofi don't have a broken jaw. Kofi is COVID. Although I don't understand why McIntyre announced that he tested positive, but Kofi Kingston couldn't announce that he tested positive. If he really had a broken jaw, then more likely than not, he would have come out and said it. And I don't remember him tweeting out anything about it being a broken jaw. Kofi, more likely than not, is COVID. He'll be back in a few weeks. So we had Alexa's Playground. Bliss welcomed everyone to her playground. She said she wanted to clear the air with Orton, but things got a little heated. Ha ha ha. So she introduced Asuka. Asuka came out. Far and wide, years away. Dancing like an idiot. So Asuka came out. Bliss stopped Asuka from sitting in the swing. Asuka was trying to just He was just trying to smile and be cool with Alexa Bliss. Bliss announced that she's declaring her entry into the Royal Rumble. And no shit, I'm declaring my entry into the Royal Rumble. I think everyone here can declare. Oh, by the way, they had Adam Pearce. WWE has the nerve to have Adam Pearce tweet out that management is allowing certain people to declare their entry into the Royal Rumble while others need to earn it. It's simple as that. Can I ask a question? Why? Why do some people get preferential treatment? Why do some people get preferential treatment and they can enter into the Royal Rumble just by declaring it, but other people need to earn their way into the Rumble? Why do management favor some people over the other? It's either you allow everyone to declare entry into the Rumble or you have everyone earn entry into the Rumble. What sense does it make? So Asuka said she's a big fan of Bliss. Bliss said, that's so sweet. Asuka said, yowie wowie. And then she said, let's dance. So she's dancing like an idiot. Yeah, double champion. This version of Asuka's fucking terrible. This version of Asuka is fucking terrible. I cannot fucking stand it. There's people that actually enjoy this shit. Far and wide, light years away. So Bliss got mad. She said to stop it. She got all angry, and then she started talking to the empty seat as if the Fiend was there. Bliss said, not Bliss. Asuka said, he's still here. Bliss said, do not say his name. The rocking horse then started rocking by itself. Asuka left, and then Alexa Bliss sat in the rocking chair. Not rocking chair, the rocking horse, and then she smiled, and that was it. And that was that. That was that. I don't know what the fucking point of the segment was. I didn't give a shit. Alexa Bliss, look, she's fine. She's fine. She's not terrible. She's not terrible, and the character work that Alexa Bliss has been doing has been very good. But I'm not sure if I'm the only person that feels this way. I want you guys to let me know. I want you guys to let me know. Is it me, or is Alexa Bliss and this character that she's playing, is it becoming a little bit too repetitive? Is it becoming a little bit too repetitive? Because I don't know what the end game here is. Is she going to win the Raw Women's title? I fucking hope not. I hope not. Is she going to win the Raw Women's title? Is The Fiend going to come back? Is she going to go into some type of other feud with another woman? Is she going to put someone else over? I don't know what the end game here is. It just seems so repetitive with Alexa Bliss. I'm not saying that Alexa Bliss is doing bad work. This is the best that Alexa Bliss has looked in her entire career. But I don't understand. I really don't understand what the end game here is. It's really just starting to become lame and repetitive. And that has to do with the fact that the Fiend character is just so dead. Alexa Bliss was terrible before this role. Now she's very good, but it's becoming a little bit too repetitive. I'm not sure if anyone else is sensing that, but let me know what you guys think. We got Mandy Rose versus Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler wins with Careful Clutch. And that was pretty much that. I'm happy that Shayna Baszler is winning on her own. Good, she finally won a match on her own without Nia Jax. Good. But can I just ask this question? Do you really have nothing better for Mandy Rose? You really have nothing better for Mandy Rose other than jobbing out to Shayna every other week and teaming with Dana Brooke? Mandy Rose was a part of probably one of the best feuds in all of 2020 with Sonya Deville. And now she's on Monday Night Raw, teaming with Dana Brooke and jobbing out to fucking Shayna Baszler every other week? You serious? Are you telling me you can't find anything better? You really can't find anything better for Mandy Rose? I don't get it. AJ Styles versus Ricochet. This was undoubtedly the best thing on the show. Best thing on the show, hands down. And you know what the sad thing about it is? This was probably their best match together. Out of the series of matches that they had, this was probably their best match together. AJ Styles and Ricochet. Ricochet and AJ Styles had 4 matches throughout the course of the summer of 2019, and none of them even came close to this match. This was their best match together. A random episode of Monday Night Raw produced their best match. I don't get it. And I know Danielle was watching this. She would agree with me. This was a very good match for 14 minutes. So, Ricochet was using his quickness against AJ. We had a head scissor takedown here and there. Omos caught Ricochet. The ref told him to put him down, and he listened. Coming back from commercial, we had a beautiful, beautiful satellite DDT by Ricochet. Side note, the satellite DDT is probably my favorite version of the DDT. I love it. We had a big lariat by Ricochet for a 2. Backflip German suplex for a 2. Very good stuff right here. Styles then with a brainbuster for a 2. We had an Ushi Goroshi for a 2. We had Styles going for the phenomenal forearm, but Ricochet caught him with the recoil in midair. But Ricochet could not get into the cover in time. He got into the cover, but Styles was able to kick out. Styles chopped down Ricochet off the top turnbuckle. Ricochet then he stunned AJ, neck first on the top rope. He went for a springboard, but Styles caught him, and this ending sequence was fucking beautiful. If you guys missed it, I would highly recommend you go back and watch this. Styles had Ricochet in a suplex position. He hoisted him up, and he did a slingshot suplex off the ropes. Ricochet bounced back, and he caught him. Picture perfect. Just visualize this. Slingshot suplex off the ropes. Ricochet bounced backwards, and Styles caught him. Picture perfect in a Styles Clash position. Delivered the Styles Clash, and won the match. Ricochet is buried, number 1. Ricochet's buried, completely dead and buried, and he's stuck with the WWE until 2024. Ricochet's dead and buried. Styles, I don't know where he goes. He seems directionless at the moment, does Styles. Styles seems directionless. Ricochet is dead and buried. I don't think anyone is going to care about Ricochet in the next 3 years. But I will say that the match was very good, and that sequence of the slingshot suplex off the ropes into the Styles Clash, absolutely fucking beautiful. I can't shit on that. I really can't shit on that. That was beautiful. Styles wins. Very good match with Styles and Ricochet. Undoubtedly the only thing worth going back and watching on the show if you are interested. Oh, God. You guys have been waiting for me to shit on, oh my God. Do not go anywhere, people. The Dirt Sheet. The Dirt Sheet. With Miz and Morrison. Am I gonna shit on this? Correct! Strap in. The Dirt Sheet with Miz and Morrison. They hyped it up as being extra dirty. Miz then introduced Goldberg. Goldberg's music hit. But it was not Goldberg that came out. It was Gilberg. Now, scrawny, and white beard, skin and bones, Gilberg. So Gilbert comes out. He says he's got blood pumping through his veins, smoke coming out of his nose, and fire coming out of his ass. All of a sudden, Drew McIntyre's music hit. And what we saw, I think I was reading up on who this guy was. His name was David Krumholtz. I don't know who the fuck David Krumholtz is. I'm not sure if he's a writer for the WWE. I'm not sure if he's some sort of celebrity. I'm not sure if he's a backstage official. If someone could please inform me who David Krumholtz is. So I don't know who the fuck David Krumholtz was until this. I don't know who he was until this. But when he came out, this guy legitimately was a direct representation of the average male wrestling fan. This guy was unkempt. This guy had sloppy looking. You take a look at my facial hair. My facial hair is very well kempt. I take care of my facial hair. A very nice, solid, neat sideburn chin strap combo with a mustache that goes nicely over my lip as if it's leaping over the moon. I keep my facial hair very well kempt. But this guy had sloppy looking facial hair everywhere. It looked like he had a neck beard. This guy had a fucking keg for a gut. He had hair come out of the keg gut. I think that his back looked like it was sunburned, and I'm about 90% sure this guy wasn't wearing underwear. I am like about 90% sure that this guy was not wearing underwear, and every single time someone filmed this guy's back, the top of his ass crack was showing. The top of his ass crack was showing. I don't know what the fuck happened here, but I could have sworn Vince McMahon was like, oh my god, the top of his ass crack is showing. I want you to film that whenever he turns around. Literally, for those of you that didn't see it, God bless you. For those of you that didn't see it, God bless you. You were spared, but I had to watch this shit. I had to stare at the top of someone's ass crack. And surprise, surprise, a direct representation on Monday Night Raw, an ass crack. Oh, man. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I couldn't. I tried. I couldn't do it. Oh, God. I couldn't do it. The ass crack broke me, people. The ass crack broke me. Oh, God. The ass crack broke me. So I had to stare at the top of this guy's ass crack. So Gilbert growled at David Krumholtz or Drew McInfart, as Adam Pearce said. I can't do this shit anymore, man. I really can't do this shit anymore. So they do the correct line. They do the correct. They do that. Miz says he will cash in Money in the Bank. There's going to be two losers. He says, I'm the Miz, and I'm next. The highlight of Monday Night Raw is an ass crack. If you want to know how far this show has fallen from grace, just watch this segment. That's all you need to do. So, we get the Hurt Business versus Riddle and the Lucha House Party. So, standard 6-man tag. No one gave a shit. I didn't give a shit. I don't think anyone gave a shit. So, Cedric and Benjamin, they were having issues. They kept having issues. There's a lot of internal issues with the Hurt Business. Dorado made the tag to Riddle. Riddle lit up Benjamin. We had the Final Flash knee strike for a 2. We had the Floating Bro Miss. Tagged to Metalik. We had a Hurricane Rana to Benjamin. A beautiful brainbuster by Cedric. Cedric then got in Benjamin's face. Lashley tagged in. He said, fuck this, I've had enough. He hit the spear, locked in the Hurt Lock for the win, and then afterwards, Riddle hit the Final Flash to Lashley, and he ran off. And that was pretty much that. Drew McIntyre was interviewed. He said he'll be back on Raw next week. First off, I don't know why they're having the Hurt Business tease a breakup. It legitimately seems like they're just desperate for any attention or interest whatsoever. So they're taking a faction who's at their peak, and they haven't even been at their peak for a month. If you want to start teasing a breakup after WrestleMania, I don't mind that. But why are you teasing a breakup now? I don't get it. Excuse me. I don't understand why they're teasing a breakup of the Hurt Business. Makes absolutely no sense. No one's going to give a shit about the breakup of the Hurt Business. And people are more against it than they are for it. More people are against it than they are intrigued by it, considering that the Hurt Business has revived the careers of Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander. So I don't understand why you want to break them up. I really don't. Holy shit! Joseph Conlon. I was waiting for you to show up. Hit that like button, bro. I think I may be allergic to Monday Night Raw, because I'm talking about it and I sneezed. I'm allergic to shit wrestling. So we had Jackson Ryker versus Jeff Hardy. I don't know how many fucking times we need to see Hardy in a feud with Elias. Now he's fighting Jackson Ryker. I swear to God, I don't understand why Jeff Hardy isn't being built up as an interim opponent for Bobby Lashley. Because Bobby ain't losing the U.S. title anytime soon. And Hardy and Riddle aren't finished with the Hurt Business. So I don't understand why you don't just have Jeff Hardy and Matt Riddle fail against Bobby Lashley, but they're going to beat the Hurt Business, Cedric and Shelton, to win the Raw Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. I don't understand that. So we get Jackson Ryker and Jeff Hardy. Ryker tried to wear down Hardy before Hardy came back with a twist of fate. Elias then launched Hardy off of the top rope. The ref called for the bell. Ryker and Elias had a few words. Ryker with a black hole slam to Jeff Hardy, and that was that. Now they're already teasing the breakup of Ryker and Elias as well. They're already teasing tension between Ryker and Elias. They don't give a shit. They're just desperate for any type of interest. I don't give a shit, and I really don't even care to talk about this shit anymore. Monday Night Raw is legitimately making me not want to stream. So next week we got a face-off between Goldberg, Oldberg, Roydberg, Mustangberg, Burying the Fiendberg. Goldberg and McIntyre, they face off next week. Then we get Asuka and Alexa Bliss in the main event. I don't know what the fuck the point of this was. So Alexa started making the lights go out. This creepy voodoo shit. Coming back from commercial, Bliss was wearing all black. Black lipstick, very, very serious, walking very slowly, like the Fiend. We had Asuka trying to strike, but Alexa kept dodging or blocking it. Asuka then got stopped in her tracks. Bliss, with the Fiend pose, the upside down corner Fiend pose. Bliss tried for the mandible claw. Bliss then with a right hand. Asuka was able to kick out. Bliss got caught with some strikes from Asuka. Some kicks, nasty kicks. She was landing the kicks flush. Asuka was then able to try to lock in the Asuka lock, but Bliss reversed it and hit Sister Abigail and won the match. Then she transformed back into the Smiley Bliss. She looked into the camera and said, "Let me in the Fiend's voice, and that's how the show went off the air. Listen. Again, I'm going to state, Alexa Bliss is doing some really good character work. I will say that she's gotten a lot better with selling. She actually looks like she's trying to make her opponents look good. And on top of that, she doesn't look like she's afraid to take a bump. She doesn't look like she's afraid to take a bump. So I will give her credit there. She looks like she's gotten better at selling. She's not afraid to take a bump. And she can do a pretty damn good Sister Abigail, I will say. But outside of that, I'm sorry. There's really nothing about Alexa Bliss that's really going to wow you. There's nothing about Alexa Bliss that's going to make you feel like she is worthy of being at the top of the women's division. What does this mean? I don't know. She beat Asuka. She shouldn't have beaten Asuka. Champion shouldn't be losing. She shouldn't have beaten Asuka. But Alexa Bliss, the character work that she's doing is very good. It's awesome. She's gotten better at selling. She looks like she's actually trying to make her opponents look good. She's not afraid to take a bump, and she can do a damn good Sister Abigail. Fine. Good. But outside of that, there's really nothing about Alexa Bliss that's going to wow you. There's really nothing about Alexa Bliss that is overwhelmingly positive, if you know what I mean. There's really nothing about Alexa Bliss that is going to be a factor that's going to say, oh my God, we got to go out of our way to watch Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss has been one of the worst wrestlers in the company for a while. She's gotten slightly better at selling. She's gotten slightly better at taking bumps. And she can do a damn good Sister Abigail, but she's still very green in the ring. She's very green. So, I don't understand why Alexa Bliss pinned Asuka. I don't understand why Asuka needed to take a loss. You couldn't have put anyone else in that spot. You really couldn't have put Dana Brooke in that spot. You really couldn't have put fucking Nikki Cross in that spot. You really couldn't have put anyone else in that spot other than a fucking champion. I really don't understand. Now, does Alexa Bliss potentially get a Raw Women's title match against Asuka at the Elimination Chamber? I don't know. It could happen. She beat the champion. I don't want it to happen, but it could happen. Does Alexa Bliss win the Raw Women's title? I don't know. To be quite honest, if she does, that's just as bad as Charlotte winning the title. Because Alexa Bliss is already a made woman. You're really going to put the title on Alexa Bliss with this character? Alexa Bliss doesn't need to be a champion. She's done everything there is to do. I don't know what their motive here was. The character work was fine. But outside of Ricochet, and AJ Styles, the show sucked. The show is terrible. The show is completely draining my life force. The show is completely just sucking all of the energy out of me. So, that was Monday Night Raw. Oy vey. We got about 6 more shows to dissect. We're probably going to be here past 4 o'clock, so you want to strap in, people. Let's check the chat. Ruben, thank you for the support. Thank you for the support, Ruben. Asuka, dancing like she's drunk, says Cool King. God, you're telling me. I think Jess may have gone silent. I think they may have caught her at work watching me. Furious Nation, DJ Storm's rants are fire. You damn fucking right, bro. Thank you for coming, Joseph Conlon. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Gold Botch says Proud Mixed Child. Danielle obviously loves my jokes. Thank you for saying bless you. Dana who? Yeah, exactly. Dana Botch, Dana Catering, Dana Brooke. Dana should have been fired on Black Wednesday. Dana Boring, there we go. Proud Mixed Child says Raw is NyQuil every fucking week. Yeah, instead of Raw is War, it's Raw is NyQuil. My Twitter's still blowing up. My Twitter is still blowing up, of course. People cannot get enough of the Stormsmeister. I think Matt Moody should be in here very, very shortly. I hope he's going to be coming in here. I hope to see TM in here. There we go. Get a lot of people, a lot of support. A lot of support on tap. So, I think we're going to get into AEW Dark. We're pretty much just going to skim through it. We're going to skim through it. AEW Dark, same shit as it always is. Listen, I understand what they're doing, but it's a matter of time before they really, really, really fucking need to cut down the matches on AEW Dark. 5 to 6 matches at most. Tony Khan, TK, if you're listening to me, cut it down. I understand you're trying to give people work during the pandemic, but it's really not necessary to have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 fucking matches on the entire fucking card of AEW Dark. There's no reason why AEW Dark needs to be as long, if not longer, than AEW Dynamite. AEW Dark, when AEW first started, actually had a lot more substance. Please. Thank you very much, Kay. I try. I really do try. God bless you. Thank you very much. I love you both. But again, like I said, we don't need 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 matches on AEW Dark. We don't. 5 to 6 matches at most in an hour and 10 minutes. Simple as that. I understand you're trying to give independent wrestlers work, but it's really not necessary to put all these matches on fucking AEW Dark just for the sake of getting the matches on Dark. Put quality over quantity. I understand what they're doing, but I fucking hate it. No matches on AEW Dark were really worth going back and watching. If I'm going to put on a show, I want to make sure that all the matches are worth going back and watching. That is my motto with putting on a wrestling show. All of these matches are just enhancement matches. I don't get it. So, we're going to skim through AEW Dark and then I'll check the chat. Luchasaurus versus Brandon Cutler. We had a decent little match right here. This was probably the best match on the show. Brandon Cutler and Luchasaurus. Cutler was using his quickness early on. Luchasaurus regained control. Cutler with a suicide dive and a senton atomico. Luchasaurus with a headbutt, big lariat. Cutler came back with a springboard elbow, a meteora, and a second springboard elbow for a 2. Luchasaurus with a choke slam. Cutler landed fucking nasty. Cutler landed fucking nasty on the back of his fucking neck. And it did not look good. I don't know how he kicked out. I hope he's okay. That did not look good. Luchasaurus ended up winning with a discus knee. That was that. Sammy Guevara versus El Australiano. We had the go to hospital for the win. Sammy Guevara wins. He took the microphone again, and he's been cutting a lot of promos on AEW Dark. He said that there's a chip on his shoulder. I'm carrying Dark, Dynamite, and every pay-per-view. And he said, one belt's not enough. I'm coming for everyone. So Sammy Guevara, obviously, this year he will be a champion. Please watch out for Sammy Guevara. Nick Camarado versus Scorpio Sky. Standard showcase for Scorpio Sky, but this match went way too long. This match should have been a lot quicker than it was. Scorpio Sky wins with a TKO. That was that. Marty Daniels versus Shanna. Shanna wins with a Tiger Suplex. She botched the first Tiger Suplex. It did not look good whatsoever. Shanna gets the win. Butcher and the Blade versus Mike Verna and Baron Black. Butcher and the Blade win with the neckbreaker powerbomb combo. Vade Morales, Adam Priest, and Ryzen versus the Gun Club. We had the back body drop into the quick draw neckbreaker. Tag team move by the Gun Club, and the Gun Club wins. John Cruz and Danny Limelight, they took on Proud and Powerful. Proud and Powerful ended up winning with the powerbomb penalty kick combo. We had Pretty Peter Avalon presenting the walk-off challenge, and he challenged Lee Johnson. So next week, there's going to be 3 pretty judges, 1 outfit, and 10 steps down, pose 10 steps back. Next week, I'll prove to you and everyone that every one of these goofs, excuse me, I can't read my own fucking handwriting, I apologize. I can't read my own fucking handwriting. Next week, I'm going to prove to all of these goofs that it's PPA all day. Listen, Peter Avalon's a good wrestler. He is. Peter Avalon's a good wrestler, but this is This is WWE comedy bullshit. I don't know why the fuck they're doing the walk-off. I'm glad that it's staying on dark. This does not need to be on AEW Dynamite. I'm glad it's staying on dark. I don't know what the fuck they're going for here, but it's fucking stupid. The character is a lot better than the Librarian. I don't mind the pretty Peter Avalon gimmick, but in no way, shape, or form do we fucking need a fucking walk-off as if it's a fucking beauty pageant. I mean, come on. PPA all day. Yeah, sure. Change the channel all day. Shut down the YouTube stream all day. Unreal. Lee Johnson and Aaron Solo versus Private Party. Private Party looked good here. I hope for big things for them in 2021. Matt Hardy hit Solo in the face behind the referee's back, and then we had Stereo Enziguris by Private Party for the win. Big Swole took on Alex Gracia, and we had the Dirty Dancing. Big Swole hit this Dirty Dancing flush on Gracia for the win. Good stuff there. Zach Clayton versus Sonny Kiss. Sonny Kiss absolutely fucking sucks. This match was absolutely garbage. And Sonny Kiss wins with the split-legged leg drop. KC Navarro and AJ Kurse took on Top Flight. Top Flight wins with a roll-up. Ivelisse and Diamante took on Tesha Price and Catalina Perez. We had the Shining Wizard, the Tornado Shining Wizard from Ivelisse for the win. We do have a women's world title eliminator tournament coming very, very soon. And if that's the case, I would not mind Ivelisse taking the win there. Ivelisse and Diamante are two awesome pro wrestlers in the women's division. Shawn Dean and Fuego del Sol took on the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed, my boys, the Acclaimed. This was my favorite part of AEW Dark. Probably the only part of AEW Dark I would encourage you to go back and watch. Caster was like, we're gonna pour the water on Fuego. He only wear a mask because he couldn't draw peso. Standing on my palo. You still 3 feet. My last rap got me heat, but they can't see me. Shawn D coming back, but it's just a repeat. You can call me daddy, you about to be beat. You only talent is getting no dough. You would be voted off first of the Go Big Show. Real quick. Real quick. That's what he said. So that was pretty much that. Caster and Bowens win with Acclaimed to fame. That was pretty much that. I love Max Caster. Max Caster's fantastic. I'm a big advocate for Max Caster. And then in the main event, Chaos Project, Luther fucking sucks. And Serpentico, who's apparently got mad at me last week because I said no one cared about him. It's true. No one gives a shit about you. That's why they had Snoop Dogg do what they did to you. Lucha Bros win with the Spike Pile Driver, and that's pretty much that. And that was AEW Dark for you people. Let's check the chat. Apparently, Jessica Catanzaro's back. No one catches you? Are you sure about that? Really? You really got to get like a Twitter or an Instagram because, like, literally, I can't just keep in contact with you here. You got to get like a Twitter or Instagram, or at least a Facebook. At least a Facebook. So apparently Jess and Danielle are taking part in a fucking dab party. Adeltus Way. Apparently Adeltus Way is in the stream. Is that true? Is Rick of Adeltus Way in the stream? I actually just downloaded a couple of your songs. I love Invincible. I love Ready for War, Pray for Peace. I love Bad Reputation. Good stuff right there. So, Rick, if you're in here, please let me know. Why are we still at 20 likes? How come we're still at 20? You see, that I don't like. I don't like that. Why do we only have 9 people watching? Why don't we have 20 people watching? And why are we only at 20 likes? You see, we should be at no less than 35 likes right now. See, that's a problem. So here's what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to tell people to get the fuck in here. Because we are talking about AEW Dynamite next. and we are going to dissect everything AEW Dynamite related. So I need y'all to share out the stream all platforms of social media, because we are going to dissect AEW Dynamite next. And yes, Invincible is an awesome song. I love that. I absolutely love Invincible. It's an excellent song. Excellent stuff. Why is there only 20 likes? I don't understand that. You see, now I'm starting to get a little annoyed. I'm starting to get a little annoyed, fuckers. I need y'all to get your heads in the game. Let me share it out to my man Keenan Fisher. Send it out to my man Keenan Fisher and Leon Robinson. Where's Leon Robinson? Not Leon. Liam Robinson. We need to get Liam Robinson in there. We need to get Brightburn in there. There we go. Anyway, who's ready to talk about some Dynamite? Unfortunately, we're not going to be talking about it in a positive way like we usually do, because this past week on Dynamite was not very good. Not very good whatsoever. We had a couple decent matches here and there, but man, I don't know what happened here. For one, they definitely oversaturated this show. They absolutely oversaturated this episode of Dynamite. Way too much on the show. Really nothing of substance outside of a few decent matches. A lot of questionable decisions. I don't know where they're going, but we are going to dissect everything here on the Lightning Flash update. Keep the chat alive, people. Please share it out on all platforms of social media and get some more people in here. I want to get to 40 likes. The fact that we are only at 20, that disappoints me. You don't want a disappointed DJ. Anyway, so Brody Lee Jr. had his birthday celebration. Now, one positive thing I will say is the fact that Tony Khan is absolutely probably one of the best wrestling CEOs that I've seen. He's awesome, and I would love to have a wrestling CEO just like him. If I was a part of a wrestling company, I would absolutely love to have a CEO like Tony Khan. Tony Khan, very, very generous, very, very caring. I absolutely love what Tony Khan has done for Brody Lee's family. Good stuff right there. So, John Silver led Happy Birthday before Luther and Serpentico came out. He says that AEW is becoming a daycare center. Luther called -1 a stupid doofus. Dark Order got into a brawl with them before TH2 and Adam Hangman Page came out. Page then leapt off the stage onto the pile. So we get the match. Really standard match. Nothing but a showcase match. The Dark Order and Adam Hangman Page win. And that was pretty much that. Brody Lee then hit Serpentico with the kendo stick, and he said, "My birthday was 3 days ago, you idiots." And he threw the papers. He threw the papers at Serpentico. John Silver then got down on his knees. He got down on his knees to propose, quote unquote, to Adam Hangman Page, "Will you join the Dark Order?" Page then said, "I can't." But the Dark Order still celebrated like he could. We had like shirtless dancing cowboys before Stu Grayson and Evil Uno sent them back. Page said, "Listen, I did the group thing. It didn't work out for me. I'm sorry." And he left. And that was pretty much that. That was the opening segment. Now, it was pretty funny. It was a little funny, but ultimately, it really wasn't anything of substance. Really wasn't anything that I'm going to go back and watch. I don't think it's anything that you're going to go back and watch. I didn't really give a shit. I don't think anyone else really gave a shit. Page did not join the Dark Order. I don't know where this is leading to. I'm not sure what is going to follow through, because I think everyone had it in their mind that this Adam Hangman Page Dark Order storyline was leading to a match with Brody Lee before his unfortunate passing. And now that Brody Lee, unfortunately, is no longer with us, now the storyline almost kind of seems pointless. I'm not sure if anyone else feels that way, but that's where I was getting at. I don't really see a reason for the storyline to continue. I don't really understand why Hangman needs to join the Dark Order. He doesn't need to join the Dark Order. He's a lone wolf. He's going to be world champion sooner rather than later. So at this rate, the Dark Order storyline doesn't really seem like it has any substance. I don't really understand what the point of continuing the storyline is. Now, I'm not sure what this means. I'm not sure if this is going to lead to the Dark Order and Adam Hangman Page continuing a feud. And we're probably going to get Hangman versus like a John Silver or an Evil Uno or something like that. I don't know. But again, this storyline with Hangman and the Dark Order, more likely than not, was leading towards a match at Revolution with Mr. Brody Lee before his unfortunate passing. So I don't understand what the point of the storyline is really anymore. So this really wasn't anything that's going to wow you. So that was that. Tony Schiavone was then in the ring. He introduced Sting and Darby Allin. So Sting took the microphone. He says that there's something that reminds me of me in you, and I like it. He's, of course, talking to Darby. I'd like to be the first to congratulate you on being our TNT champion. And he was explaining that he didn't mean to interfere in his business last week before Taz came up on the screen. He says, "Shut up, Sting. You interrupt the TNT title match with a baseball bat. We've been gentlemen, but we grew up in the streets. And you want to get nasty? We can get nasty. Balls in your court, bitches." So Sting then whispered something in Darby Allin's ear. And Darby says, "You want to take it to the streets, Team Taz. Be careful what you wish for, because it just might happen." And we have been informed that it's going to be Sting and Darby Allin versus Ricky Starks and Brian Cage, Team Taz, in a street fight at AEW Revolution, which I am all here for. I am absolutely all here for that. Now, I don't really understand why anyone's really complaining. I don't understand why anyone's complaining. I understand your concerns with Sting wrestling, but you need to understand, people don't complain about these people like The Undertaker and Goldberg and Sting. We don't complain about people like them wrestling just because they're wrestling. We complain about them because of the roles that they're being placed in. Goldberg came back and he's getting a fucking WWE Championship match out of nowhere. Just because Sting is complaining, that gives you the right to complain? Why? Who cares? Sting obviously feels as though he's ready. Sting obviously is in much better shape than Goldberg. And on top of that, more likely than not, this match is going to be cinematic. This match isn't going to be legitimately in the ring. Sting, at most, is going to be competing in 3 to 4 matches over the course of the next 4 years. And Tony Khan specifically brought Sting in to elevate Darby Allin. Darby Allin was already a superstar in my eyes and in a lot of people's eyes before the Sting storyline. But now that people who don't know who Darby Allin is, seeing him stand next to Sting, team with Sting, and now we're possibly going to see Sting and Darby win at Revolution, and then Sting potentially puts over Darby Allin at a later date, that is going to elevate Darby Allin into that next level, so much so that Darby Allin could very well be a world champion by the end of 2022. It's not about simply competing. It's about the roles that the superstars are placed in. AEW has utilized Sting perfectly. AEW has utilized Sting to the best of his abilities. And on top of that, he may not even be competing in an actual ring. He may be competing in a simple cinematic match at Revolution, which I wouldn't mind at all. He's there to help get others over. He's there to elevate Darby Allin and distribute some of that star power and legitimacy that he has to Darby Allin. AEW took Darby Allin from nothing, and they wanted to make him into a star. And they have done an excellent job in doing so far. Now, we could possibly see the advent of Darby Allin go even further. Why would you complain about that? Sting's not facing Kenny Omega for the world title. Sting's not going to beat Darby Allin for the TNT title. Come on. People, think. Think, fuckers. Think. So moving on, we had the Young Bucks. They went to Kenny Omega's house for an elite meeting. Nakazawa escorted them into Kenny Omega's house. Don Callis then came in, and the Bucks were ribbing on Callis for pulling what he pulled last week. Callis said that Kenny changed his number. Callis says, hey, Nakazawa, take Marvez to dungeon. And he put the camera down, or the cameraman put the camera down. We had Don Callis giving the Bucks a check. He's like, maybe we could work something out. I don't want you to hold Kenny back. So the Bucks obviously did not take too kindly to this. They ripped up the check right in front of Don Callis. Now the camera went to black, and they beat up Don Callis after the camera went to black. So Callis trying to buy off the Bucks. This is very, very interesting. This is rather interesting. I am very, very intrigued to see where this goes. I'm not lying. I'm very, very intrigued to see where this goes. I'm very, very intrigued to see how this works out. Are we going to see the Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks, possibly for the Impact World Tag Team Championships at a later date? Could we possibly see the Bucks facing off in a six-man tag with Jon Moxley against Kenny and the Good Brothers? Are we going to see an Elite Takeover? I don't think we are going to see an Elite Takeover. I think that now things are really fragile between Don Callis, the Good Brothers, and the Young Bucks. This is actually very, very intriguing. I'm very, very interested to see where this goes. We had Pretty Peter Avalon versus Cody Rhodes. We had a crossroads in 5 seconds before Jade Cargill came out. Cody stared at her like a fucking dumbass. We had a low blow by Peter Avalon behind the referee's back. Avalon then took over. We had a beautiful superplex. Avalon kept the pressure on. We had a double clothesline. Avalon still remained in control. He missed the moonsault. Cody focused on his knee. His knee remained a problem throughout the match. We had a tope suicida by Avalon. Cody then with a diamond cutter. He mounted a comeback with a power slam. Cody then locked in the figure four. Avalon tried to reverse it. Cody reversed it back. And then Avalon slapped Cody. And then Cody locked in a tighter grip on the figure four. And Avalon tapped out. Listen, the match itself was not a terrible match. I didn't mind the match. Avalon's a decent wrestler, but I don't understand why we needed to have this mid-match fucking interference with Jade Cargill coming out. She was 25 feet away from Cody. Cody stared at her like a dumbass, taking his eyes off of his opponent mid-match, and Peter Avalon took over. I don't understand what the fuck it is with these mid-match interferences, but these mid-match interferences need to fucking die. These mid-match interferences where someone just simply walks out and someone's staring at someone on the ramp, that shit needs to die. That shit needs to be abolished. That shit absolutely is one of the dumbest things in pro wrestling right now. It needs to go away. Oh, I'm going to stare at someone on the ramp when I got a match. Come on. End it. Enough with these mid-match interferences where someone is distracted just by someone's mere presence. It makes the person being distracted look like a fucking retard. We don't need that shit. Jon Moxley versus Nick Comoroto. Nick Comoroto got some offense in here on Moxley. Moxley ended up winning with the rear naked choke. Moxley took the mic. He says, anything can happen on Wednesdays. things are getting crazy. Who's in the Bullet Club? Who's in Impact? But I don't care. Kenny, all you did was make it more fun. More bodies, bigger brawls, more blood, more limbs to snap. I will climb back up this mountain, and all roads in pro wrestling lead through me. Short, simple, to the point. Moxley and Omega is your main event for Revolution. Why? Because they built up nobody else, and no one can take a loss against Omega and be fine with it. Matt Sydal and Top Flight versus Matt Hardy and Private Party. This is a fun little match right here. Really nothing too special. Really nothing too special. We had Top Flight and Matt Sydal with a double crab on Private Party. It seemed a little disorganized at times. This match seemed a little all over the place, a little disorganized at times. Really wasn't the best six-man tag. I don't really know what the motto is here. I understand that their focus is tag team wrestling, but they really need to chill back on the six-man tags. It's really not doing them any favors. They really need to chill back on the six-man tags. If anything, they should focus on a lot more singles action, if anything. They have a lot of singles matches on Dark. We need a lot more singles matches on Dynamite. We really do. But this is a fun little match right here. We had Darius and Dante Martin with some big moves on Private Party. Matt Hardy with 3 side effects. He shoved Darius Martin to the floor. Cassidy, behind the referee's back, then hit Matt Sydal. Not Matt Sydal. I think it was Dante Martin. Yeah, I think it was Dante Martin. He hit Dante Martin in the ribs behind the referee's back with a steel chair. Quinn then hit the shooting star press for the win. Fun little match, sloppy at times, really nothing too special. A really unnecessary match, if I'm going to be quite honest. This is part of the reason why they oversaturated the show and they overloaded the show. Really nothing too special. But I will say this. Private Party and Matt Hardy in this new heel role, I'm actually liking it. I think that this new heel role is going to do wonders for Private Party. And they're actually the number 1 contenders for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. So I do not mind that whatsoever. I like the little AEW Impact Wrestling crossover hybrid. But if I'm going to be quite honest with you, no matter if we get the AEW partnership with Impact, no one really gives a shit. Really, no one really gives a shit. So, I'm sorry. No one really gives a shit. So, Layla Hirsch took on Penelope Ford. This was actually a fairly decent match right here. I'm actually very, very happy that Layla Hirsch is getting the proper showcase on AEW Dynamite. Layla Hirsch, she's come along. She's actually very good. Penelope Ford's very good too. Decent little match right here. Nothing too special. This may have been the best overall match of the night. So Ford took over with a handspring back elbow, a big meteor to the head. Hirsch came back with some strikes, a running knee, a beautiful deadlift German, and a big meteor and double boots for a 2. Hirsch then with a somersault onto Chuck Taylor and Kip Sabian. Chuck Taylor, of course, is Miro's butler now. Ford then with the punt kick, a pinfall, and Kip held down Layla Hirsch's boot. The ref counted 1, 2, 3, and that was pretty much that. Hirsch is coming along very nicely. We then had Miro telling Chuck to look at Orange Cassidy and say, Miro is my best friend now. Miro kept calling him Charles. So Chuck ended up saying that. Miro and Kip hugged Chuck Taylor, and Cassidy then walked up the ramp, and that was pretty much it. Layla Hirsch, like I said, is coming along very nicely. Very happy that she is getting the showcase that she's getting on Dynamite. The storyline between the best friends, Miro and Kip Sabian, it sucks. It sucks. Flat out, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand why we are getting this wedding storyline. I don't understand what the motive here is. But here is what I will say. Here's what I will say. What I'm going to say is Miro versus Orange Cassidy, that's a match I can see happening at Revolution. That's going to be great. That's going to be great. That's going to be a great fucking match. I can't wait to see that. So, in the back, we had the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega. They assaulted Penta El Cero Miedo. At Beach Break, it was made official. The main event is going to be Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers taking on Jon Moxley, Pac, and Rey Fenix. That's going to be a great fucking match. Cody Rhodes responds to Shaq next week. Lord fucking help us. So we got Dax Harwood versus Jungle Boy. That should be great. Dark Order is taking on the Bucks and the Good Brothers. We have a tag team battle royal at Beach Break to decide the number one contenders for the Young Bucks tag team titles. We got Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker at Beach Break. And next week we also have Eddie Kingston and Lance Archer, which should be great. And then we got the Women's World Title Eliminator match coming soon. Very, very happy we're getting that. Very, very pleased to see that the women are going to get a little bit more of a focus in 2020. It's going to be a good one. I definitely think that that is Britt Baker's tournament to win, and Britt Baker will be the new women's champion by none other than Revolution. Britt Baker and Shida is your women's world title match at Revolution, and Britt Baker is going to win. MJF and Chris Jericho versus Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager versus Proud and Powerful. This was the main event of the show. Fun little match. Really nothing too special. Jericho was off in multiple portions of this match. I'm not sure what the fuck happened with Jericho. He did a sloppy looking lion salt. I don't know what's going on, but Jericho, he was not on. Of course, even the best have their off days. But, man, I don't know what happened here. It was a fun little match for what it was, but it was nothing too crazy. Now, I was shocked by the outcome. We're going to dissect the match. So we had Sammy and Jericho getting into it. Santana and Ortiz with some swift double team moves on Jericho. They got into it with Sammy as well. We had a neckbreaker powerbomb for a 2. MJF got tagged in, Guevara with the springboard cutter. Sammy and Ortiz then took out Jericho. Jericho and Hager then with the planchas. Oh, no, he took out Jericho. They both took out Jericho and Hager with big planchas. Sammy then with a big Fosby flop, taking out MJF. Guevara then with the shoulders. Guevara then was on the shoulders of MJF, excuse me. He hit the Poison Rana on MJF, and a Spanish fly on Ortiz. Looked beautiful. That got a 2 count. Hager then booted Jericho in the face. MJF got the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and he got booted by Jake Hager as well. We had a power bomb. And a Lion Salt combo by Jericho and MJF for a 2. Santana and Ortiz with the over-the-top flapjack. Jericho hit the code breaker, but Ortiz kicked out. We had a double DDT on Ortiz. Hager then tagged in. Hager bomb. Sammy with the Swanton bomb, but Ortiz saved it. We had the Go to Hospital by none other than Sammy Guevara on Chris Jericho. MJF then rolled up Sammy with the trunks for the win. And MJF and Jericho are the official tag team of the Inner Circle. I did not like the outcome. I would have gone with Santana and Ortiz. But I'd like to believe that this is only further advancing the storyline between MJF and Sammy. Because from the beginning, you need to remember something here. The story that they've been telling from the beginning has always been MJF being kind of in the watchful eye of Sammy Guevara, because Sammy never wanted him in the Inner Circle. And to be quite honest, Sammy still doesn't want him in the Inner Circle. So the story here is, I believe what they're doing is trying to build the tension between MJF and Sammy Guevara to a point where we're eventually going to see MJF and Sammy face off one-on-one. And MJF's motive is to pretty much destroy the Inner Circle from within and use the Inner Circle for his own benefit. I believe as though that's pretty much what they're going for here. Jericho and MJF are now the tag team of the Inner Circle. Could we potentially see Jericho and MJF win the tag team battle royal, and then Jericho and MJF, they face off against the Young Bucks at the Revolution pay-per-view? I don't know. That's a possibility. We could see Jericho and MJF win the tag team titles, and that could cause even more dissension among the Inner Circle. I don't know. The unpredictability is what is keeping the storyline alive, and I like that. I like that. I just don't like the outcome. I just don't like how Santana and Ortiz didn't win this. They weren't pinned. And then, attention to detail, we had MJF pinning Sammy. So, I don't necessarily mind that to advance the storyline between Sammy and MJF, and I do believe that we will be getting a match between Sammy and MJF at some point. When? I don't know. But could that be the segue to the matchup? And could that be the segue to possibly getting Santana and Ortiz out of the Inner Circle? Could we possibly see Santana and Ortiz object to this? Could we possibly see Santana and Ortiz challenge Jericho and MJF for the tag team titles? Do Jericho and MJF win the tag team titles, and then we get Jericho and MJF versus Santana and Ortiz? There's a lot of different routes that they can go. I just don't like the fact that MJF and Jericho won when they're two singles competitors. Now, I'm going to reserve my judgment, and I'm going to see how this plays out. Let's see how this plays out, but overall, outside of the main event, there was really nothing on the show worth investing our time in. Outside of the main event, there was really nothing on the show worth going back and watching. A very lackluster Dynamite, not very good. They had 4 big shows back to back to back. They had the Holiday Bash, they had New Year's Smash, night 1 and night 2, and then they had the Brody Lee Tribute Show. And none of those shows were bad shows. But now we get this show. This was a show that was kind of expected. Next week's card looks a lot better. Beach Break's card is looking a lot better. We'll see what happens. But this was not a very good episode of Dynamite. Very, very lackluster. One of the first lackluster episodes of Dynamite that we've had in a long, long time. Not very good. Not very memorable. An episode that if you wanted to skip, you could have skipped. There was really nothing on the show worth going back and watching outside of the main event. We are approaching the 2-hour mark. Let's check the chat. Miss Wolf, hashtag ZG. Thank you very much for coming. I greatly appreciate it. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to share the stream out. We are at 21 likes. We want to get to 40 likes. That is the goal. That is the motive. I'm going to need all of you to help me out there because we want to... What's going on over here? I thought the TV just went black. There. Unreal. She is from France. Yes, I know. I do have fans in France. Remember that. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Share out the stream if you can. So, let's check the chat. Thank you very much for coming. Peanuts and Danielle, they're in a dab party. Cool King, don't encourage the dab barrage, please. We gotta keep things under control here, people. Come on. We gotta keep things under control here. What you doing? Alright, I'll tell you what. If I dab, are you going to keep things under control? I'm going to dab. If I dab once, will you chill? Alright, fine, I'm gonna dab. Alright. There. Happy? Unbelievable. Anyway. Look at this. Look at this. We just got 2 more likes. Looks like the dab worked. Look at that. It's like the dab worked. How you doing? How you doing, Pre-Done? How you doing, Pre-Done? Please share out the stream. Share out the stream. We got 24 likes. And I'm assuming, yes, there you go. There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome. We're going to talk about NXT. We're going to talk about NXT. NXT this week was actually very good. NXT this week was actually very good. What I'm going to say is they have been operating with a sense of direction, very minimal main roster bullshit. They have been all business. NXT has been all business since the beginning of the year, which I can appreciate. NXT was very, very, very good this week. If you wanted to go check it out, I would highly recommend you go and check it out. We started off NXT with Kushida and Leon Ruff taking on Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory. This was a first-round matchup in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Kushida and Ruff, I was not expecting them to win, but they ended up winning anyway. Kushida, he was isolated early on before Ruff made the hot tag. He lit up Theory with a swift enziguri. Theory then took over with a torture rack spin-out powerbomb for a 2. Ruff was then cut down by the way. Ruff then with a beautiful corkscrew cutter to Theory. I love Leon Ruff's cutter. It's amazing. So, Ruff then made the hot tag to Kushida. He took on both Gargano and Theory. We had a tornado DDT to Gargano by Kushida on the floor. Theory and Gargano with the double team. Backstabber super kick combo, but Kushida kicked out. Ruff then with the somersault plancha, taking out Theory, and then Kushida with an arm trapped neck lock suplex, and Kushida wins it for his team. Kushida wins it for his team. First things first. First things first. The match was great. The match was great. I will say that. I'm going to get that out of the way. The match was great, but the wrong man was pinned. I don't understand the logic here. Now, this was the only influence of main roster that we saw on the show. This was the only influence of main roster that we saw on the show. I did not mind this match, but if you were going to have Kushida and Leon Ruff win, then it should have been Theory taking the pinfall. It should have been Theory taking the pinfall. I don't understand what the fetish is with having the champions lose. I don't understand what the fetish is with having your champions look weak. Kushida has been undefeated for the last 5+ months. He's been undefeated for the last 5+ months. He doesn't need a pinfall victory over the North American champion, let alone 2, to justify him getting a North American title match. You could easily just make the match. He was on a 10-match winning streak. Does he really need to pin the North American champion? What fucking sense does that make? Seriously, what fucking sense does that make? I'm sick and fucking tired of seeing champions get pinned on television. It does not do any good for the champions, and to be quite honest with you, it's honestly making me a little afraid that they're not going to follow through with Kushida. It's honestly making me a little bit afraid that they're not going to follow through and they're not going to give Kushida the North American Championship. And that's wrong. That's wrong. You're really going to have these 5-6 months of winning for Kushida. It's all just going to result in nothing. You're really going to have these 5-6 months of continuous wins for Kushida result in nothing but a loss to Gargano at NXT TakeOver on Valentine's Day. Gargano does deserve a longer reign with the title, but that's your fault for not giving him a longer reign with the title because you elected to give the title to Leon Ruff for a fucking month. You elected to give the title to Leon Ruff for 1 month. I don't fucking understand. Enough with the champions being pinned. If Kushida and Leon Ruff were going to win, it should have been Austin Theory taking the pin. With the fact that Bronson Reed is actually being built up. And on top of that, Kushida pinned Gargano twice. Now it's making me believe that they're not going to give Kushida the North American title. I'll reserve my judgment, but based on the track record of NXT over the last year, it's making me very hard to trust them again. The last 3 weeks have been good. They've been very good. They haven't been overwhelming. They haven't been great shows. They haven't been, oh my God, we need to go out of our way to watch these shows. These shows are amazing shows, but they have been good shows. I'm not going to lie. But Kushida pinning Gargano twice, it really does make me apprehensive that they're not going to follow through and give Kushida the North American title. I don't know how you guys feel, but let me know. Great match, though. Great match. Wrong man pinned. So, we had a great promo package. With Pete Dunne talking about Finn Balor. And it was very, very serious, very, very intense. And I am really looking forward to this match. Pete Dunne and Finn Balor is your match for NXT TakeOver on February 14th. That's a TakeOver-worthy match. Pete Dunne is the best possible choice right now. Well, actually, he's not. But I like where they're going with Pete Dunne because you can't justify Karrion Kross getting an NXT title match when he's only been back for a month and he's only had about 2 fucking matches. So at the end of the day, Karrion Kross is going to be built up over the course of the next 3 months. You have 3 months between now and April more likely than not is going to be the month of the next TakeOver after the one in February, which I don't mind. If that's the case, then you have Karrion Kross continue competing on NXT, and once he gains 8, 9, 10 wins, then after that, then he'll be justified in getting an NXT championship match. What they did with Karrion Kross after this promo, we had Karrion Kross versus Ashanti the Adonis. Karrion Kross ended up winning with a shot right to the back of the neck. Ashanti was not medically cleared to compete in Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic with Desmond Troy. He then locked in Desmond Troy in the cross jacket afterwards. 3 matches back, and he's won 3 matches. Good. Keep going. Build up the wins. Have him get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins between now and April. And then, boom. You can do Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship at the next TakeOver. Simple as that. Simple as that. It's not very hard. It's not very hard whatsoever. Pete Dunne is the correct opponent for Finn Balor at TakeOver. Pete Dunne is not winning. Yes, it makes it predictable. It is predictable. Karrion Kross is ultimately the endgame for Finn Balor, and he needs to gain more wins, but we're still going to get a great fucking match with Pete Dunne and Finn Balor. Moving on, after the promo and after Karrion Kross demolished Ashanti the Adonis, we had Lucha House Party versus Imperium. This was a first round Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic matchup. This was a very fun matchup here between Imperium and the Lucha House Party. Lucha House Party was in control early before Eichner had enough of the bullshit and he body slammed Lince Dorado on the floor. Imperium took over and Dorado was isolated before Metalik got the hot tag. Beautiful Hurricane Rana to Eichner. We had a big moonsault for a 2. Imperium then with the wheelbarrow DDT, but Dorado saved it. Eichner then with the sunset flip powerbomb. He got sunset flip powerbombed by Dorado before Bartel saved it. Eichner then with the deadlift brainbuster on Dorado. Bartel with an air raid crash on Metalik. Beautiful stuff there. Beautiful tag team offense from Imperium before Dorado kicked out. Dorado then planted Eichner. Bartel got Hurricane Rana into Eichner. We had a moonsault by Metalik through the skies onto the floor, onto Eichner. Dorado then with a super kick and a beautiful shooting star press. And the Lucha House Party wins. A very fun match. A very, very, very fun match here. Alexander Wolf then returned and he did the Imperium pose with Bartel and Eichner on the ramp. So, this was a bracket buster. This was a little bit of a shocker here. Now, the main reason why I think they're doing this is because of the fact that Imperium, they could be going back to NXT UK. Now, Alexander Wolf, he was able to come from the UK to the US. I don't understand what's stopping the other two members of Imperium from going from the US to the UK. So, if anything, we could very well see Imperium go back to the UK. Why? Because Imperium are going to be the next NXT UK Tag Team Champions. You see, Imperium, before this pandemic hit, before COVID hit, Imperium was slated to beat Gallus for the NXT UK Tag Team titles at the takeover. At the takeover in April. We were going to have NXT UK TakeOver Dublin at the end of April, on April 26th. But COVID hit. And we were in the midst of this pandemic. So that didn't happen. Now, the pandemic is slowly starting to die down. We got the COVID vaccines. We can travel back and forth, limited capacity. Triple H ended up giving Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner a consolation prize in the NXT Tag Team titles. And they were the NXT Tag Team Champions throughout the course of the summer. So now we have Alexander Wolf returning. And more likely than not, Alexander Wolf is going to be the one to bring back Imperium to NXT UK. We have a fatal four-way tag team elimination match between Pretty Deadly, Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith, Webster and Andrews, and The Hunt. Pretty Deadly, more likely than not, will win that, and they're going to get a shot at Gallus. Pretty Deadly's not winning. Pretty Deadly is not winning the Tag Team Championships. I'm pointing that out there. Pretty Deadly's not winning the Tag Team Championships. This is merely a test run to see if Pretty Deadly can hang with Gallus. Gallus is going to beat Pretty Deadly, and more likely than not, this loss by Imperium is sending them away from NXT. They're going to go back to NXT UK, and they're going to win the NXT Tag Team titles from Gallus like they should have originally back in April of 2020. That's the only reason why I can think that they had the Lucha House Party advance. But this was a very fun match. Lucha House Party advance, very good tag team wrestling. Why we are not seeing this Lucha House Party on Monday Night Raw is mind-boggling to me. Why are they legitimate in NXT? Why are they putting on great matches in NXT these last 2 weeks? And why are they jokes? Why are they drooling over Melena? And why are they being chew toys for Bobby Lashley on Monday Night Raw? I don't get it. Triple H gives these people opportunities. Vince McMahon don't give them jack shit. So then we had Beth Phoenix and William Regal, and they introduced the Women's Dusty Classic teams. Very simple, very effective. They're making history, and we get the first round matchup. It is Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter versus Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. This was first round Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic action. Martinez was easily throwing around Casey Catanzaro. It really does help that Casey is small. So Martinez was just having a field day with Casey here. We then had Storm and Martinez isolating Casey. Casey then with a Frankensteiner to Martinez off the middle rope. Storm then met Carter in the ring. Carter has definitely come a long way. We had a nice drop kick splash combination. We had a super kick to Toni Storm, a running boot, Casey with an enziguri, and a crossbody on Martinez. We had a beautiful German suplex by Toni Storm. And then Io Shirai came out of nowhere behind the ref's back. Behind the referee's back came Mercedes Martinez's opponent, I'm going to guess. Because we don't really have a women's title match at TakeOver. So the woman that Martinez attacked in her return, Io Shirai, she came out of nowhere. She sent Martinez over the announce table. Storm was distracted. We had a reverse figure 4 by Carter. And Casey Catanzaro, I don't know what the fuck this was. It was like a corkscrew moonsault senton. It was like a reverse black arrow. It was like a reverse black arrow, a corkscrew moonsault senton to the back of Toni. And Casey and Caden upset Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. A huge bracket buster in the first round. And let me tell you something. I have all but one criticism about this entire match. I have one criticism. And it's not even about the match. The match was good. Not great, but it was good. A good match. We got a good match. Casey and Caden win. I don't mind that. I don't mind that because Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez, realistically speaking, they're pretty much already established women. Casey and Caden, they haven't really gotten that much of an opportunity to break out, but now with this big win, they really did break out. And that's what I like to see, because NXT is all about creating new stars, and with this win, they really helped Caden and Casey break out. They really did create new stars in Caden and Casey. And I have no issue with that whatsoever. I got no issue with that whatsoever. I got no issue with Io attacking Mercedes Martinez because it makes sense. She wants comeuppance for what happened. But in no way, shape, or form are you going to be able to justify Toni or Mercedes Martinez getting an NXT Women's Championship opportunity. In no way are you going to be able to justify them getting an opportunity. They lost in this match. Toni, yeah, she got a victory over, Rhea Ripley not that long ago, but that's about it. She got one victory over Rhea Ripley, but everyone's been beating Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's lost to Raquel. She's lost to fucking Dakota Kai. She's lost to Toni Storm. So, I don't really know what you want me to say there. You're not going to be able to justify Toni or Mercedes getting an NXT Women's title opportunity. Matter of fact, it's like they're doing this backwards. Because they should really be the one to take the title off of Io Shirai. Raquel Gonzalez is the only legitimate challenger in that division that makes sense because she's been on a winning streak. She pinned Io inside War Games, and she beat Rhea in the last woman standing match. I don't understand why she's not getting an NXT Women's title match. Raquel and Dakota Kai, they are my picks. They are my picks for the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. More likely than not, they're going to win. But I don't understand why you're doing this now and you're not doing Raquel and Io now. Because that makes sense. You're not going to be able to justify Mercedes and Toni getting an NXT Women's title match when they've realistically done nothing. It's going to be a great match. Those two matches are two great matches, but they don't make any sense. I'm sorry. Common facts. But a good match. We got a good match. Casey and Caden win. I have no issue with them winning. And I'm glad that they are getting the proper showcase. I'd like to see new stars created. But again, you won't be able to justify Mercedes or Toni getting a title match against Io. They've done nothing. Bronson Reed versus Tyler Rust. Bronson Reed won with the Tsunami Splash. Big things are to be expected from Bronson Reed in 2021. Legado del Fantasma was in the ring. Escobar, looking like $1 million. He said, a real champion does what he wants, when he wants. You're looking at the champion of champions. He then called out Gargano, Balor, and Cross for being Punk champions. He says, I back up every word that I have to say and have beaten every single person that's been put on my path. Raul and Joaquin, you won your first round match. So before he could get another word out, we had Lucha House Party coming out. They had a brawl with Legado del Fantasma. Escobar was just walking off, very smug, very cocky, very confident. Out of nowhere, we had Kurt Stallion coming out, and he put down Escobar. And if you guys remember, a few months ago, Kurt Stallion did win a Fatal 5-Way #1 Contenders match on 205 Live to earn a Cruiserweight Championship opportunity. If you guys have been paying attention to 205 Live, which most of you haven't, but I have, because that's my job here, I know that Kurt Stallion does have a #1 Contenders opportunity, and it looks like next week he is invoking it. So next week, we do have Kurt Stallion versus Santos Escobar for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. We also got Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. We got Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai versus Aaliyah and Jessi Kamea. First round Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match. And then we got MSK versus Maverick and Dane, and the Grizzled Young Veterans versus Kushida and Leon Ruff. So, first things first, NXT next week looks very, very stacked, #1. And #2, it really does look like that the Cruiserweight title is more of a priority now on NXT. It looks like Triple H wants to make the Cruiserweight title more of a priority on NXT. And I actually like that. We had a very good match with Metalik and Santos Escobar for the NXT Cruiserweight title. It didn't make any sense, but it was a very good match. Legado del Fantasma, they're a focus point. They've been featured on 205 Live. They advanced in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And on top of that, now they are being featured on NXT. And now Santos Escobar, he's defending the title more regularly. On television. And now we're going to get Kurt Stallion and Santos Escobar, and I think that's going to be a very good match. Kurt Stallion, he's a good wrestler, but really, he just feels very green. His ceiling is very small. His ceiling is the Cruiserweight Championship, if he is ever to win the Cruiserweight Championship. I'm sorry, I'm going to be quite honest here. I want to see him succeed, but you really think that WWE is going to go all in with a guy like Kurt Stallion? You have to be as lucky as someone like CM Punk or Daniel Bryan to succeed in that role. Kurt Stallion's not going to be big on the main roster. Why? Because WWE won't allow him to. Kurt Stallion, he's a good wrestler. I think he could very well have his best match with Santos Escobar for the NXT Cruiserweight title next week. And I'm very, very happy to see the Cruiserweight title getting more of a spotlight on NXT. And that's what Triple H has been doing. He's been spotlighting a lot more things on NXT in the last 3 weeks, which I can appreciate. And then in the main event, we had Timothy Thatcher versus Tommaso Ciampa inside the fight pit. So they started off on the top of the platform. They went back and forth. Thatcher then got catapulted into the bars on the platform. They got into the pit. Ciampa was throwing Thatcher into the cage. We had a running knee against the cage. Ciampa was then sent shoulder first into the steel. Ciampa then with a single leg crab on Thatcher. Thatcher then fought out of it, and he locked in a sleeper. Ciampa then with a low blow, all legal. And this was a little innovative. We had Ciampa using the ref. The ref was on his knees, and Ciampa draped Thatcher over the ref and hit Willow's bell off the ref. Innovative offense there. Thatcher got to his feet after Ciampa locked in a sleeper. They started trading blows. Ciampa hit the fairy tale ending, and then he locked in a rear naked choke, but Thatcher still got up. He sent Ciampa into the cage, and Ciampa got his right leg wedged in between the cage. Thatcher then locked in. He then locked in a stretch muffler. On the surgically repaired knee of Ciampa. And Ciampa ended up tapping out. And then afterwards, Thatcher went over to Ciampa, nodded his head out of respect, and they took Desmond Troy and Ashanti the Adonis's place in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic on 205 Live on Friday against Arya Daivari and Tony Nese. This match was not as good as the fight pit with Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. Not as good. But I will say it was still a very nice fight. This was more technical. This was more nitty-gritty. We had a lot more with Thatcher and Matt Riddle in the fight pit originally in May rather than the fight pit now. But this was still a very nice fight. I'm not going to discredit either man. Both men did a very good job. And even though I don't agree with Thatcher going over because Thatcher really is not anything special, he's a good wrestler. He's a good wrestler. He's legit, but he's fucking boring. He's got the charisma of a fucking doorknob. I mean, come on. He's got the charisma of this comb. I don't agree with Thatcher going over. I think I have a feeling I know why he went over, but I do like the attention to detail where Thatcher focused on the surgically repaired leg, the surgically repaired knee of Tommaso Ciampa. That I like. That I can appreciate. Now, they're in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And they advanced to the quarterfinals. We'll talk about that once we get to the 205 Live review. We still have NXT UK and SmackDown to go over. But I have a feeling that these two aren't done. Even though we had the fight pit. Timothy Thatcher got a win in the fight pit. And I feel as though that's pretty much Timothy Thatcher's domain. And they're going to make that Timothy Thatcher's match, which I don't mind. But a very nice fight. Not as good as the one with Matt Riddle, but still a very nice fight. Very good episode of NXT this week. I'm very happy to see that tag team wrestling is a priority. Women's wrestling is a priority. And I do like that they have a sense of direction. And that was the main difference between NXT and AEW this week. AEW didn't really seem like it had a sense of direction. NXT, it had a sense of direction, and they're building towards the takeover on Valentine's Day. And I'm very, very happy to see that NXT is slowly starting to get back into what it was. It's not overwhelmingly good. It's not like, oh my God, we got to watch all the time. But it's much better than it was in 2020. Much better than it was, and I do believe as the months go on, if this continues, NXT is going to be a lot better off. I have no issue with this whatsoever. It's going to be a lot better off. I do have some news, actually. Apparently, NASCAR and NHL, they're going to be moving to USA, and they could very well take over Wednesday nights. That could very well be what forces NXT off of Wednesday nights and puts it on Tuesdays. You ain't going to hear a complaint out of me there. You ain't going to hear a fucking complaint out of me there. But that was NXT. Undoubtedly, NXT was the best show this week. NXT was better than AEW this week. NXT with a few blips here and there. I didn't understand the reason to have Gargano get pinned. Thatcher went over on Ciampa. Thatcher, not a fan of Thatcher. Guy's boring. We'll see what happens. But overall, NXT was very good this week. Next week's looks very good. We got a Cruiserweight title match, 2 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic matches, a Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and then we got Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Finn Balor and Pete Dunne is all but confirmed for TakeOver. We're probably going to get Kushida and Gargano, maybe Io Shirai and Mercedes Martinez, or Io Shirai and Toni Storm. That would be a nice match. A possible Grizzled Young Veterans versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch for the tag team titles. We're going to potentially get Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai versus Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. Sounds like a takeover-worthy card to me. You won't hear a complaint out of me. That was NXT. Before we get into NXT UK, let's check the chat. We got 27 likes. That's what I like to see. Cameron Johnson, he's a big fan of the thick boy, Bronson Reed, and he's a big fan of Casey and Caden. He loves to see improvement. We got HGFO. What up? How are you? Please hit that thumbs up if you haven't already done so. Please hit that thumbs up if you haven't already done so. We are going to talk about NXT UK next. We're going to talk about NXT UK next. Thank you all for sticking with me. We are almost at 2 hours and 30 minutes. We got 3 more shows to go over. We're going to go over NXT UK now, which really wasn't all that special. It wasn't a bad show, but it really didn't have a sense of direction outside of the main event, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. For those of you that watched NXT UK, you'll understand what I mean. So we had Rampage Brown versus Dave Mastiff here. This was a decent little match right here, a decent little hoss fight. Really nothing too special. Rampage Brown, he is being built up quite nicely, I will say. He's being built up quite nicely, I will say. We have Rampage Brown on the rise. Now, he hasn't really shown too much, but I do believe that in time, I do believe that Rampage Brown could potentially get a match with Walter. I think Rampage Brown and Walter would put on a very nice hoss fight for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. But here with Dave Mastiff, pretty decent stuff. Really nothing that you're going to go back and rewatch, but these two bulls were clashing. Mastiff with a left arm clothesline and a senton. Brown got clobbered out of the air. We had a beautiful exploder suplex by Dave Mastiff for 2. Brown came back with a clothesline for 2. We had a German suplex by Dave Mastiff. He was going for Into the Void, but Rampage Brown got out of the way. Rampage Brown then chopped out the legs of Dave Mastiff. He hit a backdrop driver and the Doctor Bomb for the win. Rampage Brown defeats Dave Mastiff. Pretty decent match right here. Really nothing overly crazy. Rampage Brown is continuing to be built up. I would not mind seeing a match between him and Walter. I think Rampage Brown is coming along nicely. He's not really all that special. He seems a little boring in terms of a character, but he's a very, very good wrestler. He can wrestle his ass off, that's for sure. So we then had Jack Stars versus Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov coming off of his match against Walter for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. So Stars actually slapped Dragunov, and that actually woke Dragunov up. So Dragunov was chopping the shit out of Stars. Brutal chops. We then had a fucking exploder suplex. Stars was dropped on his neck. We had the Torpedo Moscow. And then Dragunov with repeated elbows right to the back of the neck. And the ref eventually called for the bell. And Dragunov won. It seems like a change of heart. It almost seems like he lost control. And then he looked at Jack Stars. He's like, oh my God, what the fuck did I do? Could this be a beginning of a heel turn for Ilya Dragunov? I would not mind that. I would not mind that whatsoever. Let's see how this plays out. Let's see where it goes. Ben Carter, who's amazing, by the way. Ben Carter's amazing. Ben Carter is taking on Sam Gradwell next week. Seems confirmed for next week. I would not mind that. I think Ben Carter is going to be awesome. We got Tyson T-Bone took on Amir Jordan. Really nothing too special here. Jordan won with the roll-up. Kenny looked shocked. He looked like, oh my God, wait a minute, that wasn't supposed to happen. So, I'm not sure what's going on there. I guess we could potentially see a heel turn between Kenny and Amir Jordan. And we could get a match between Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan. I would not mind that. It's intriguing. They're trying to generate some sort of intrigue. We had a fatal 4-way elimination match. That's confirmed for next week. It's The Hunt, Pretty Deadly, Webster and Andrews, and Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. The winner gets Gallus. I'm assuming that Pretty Deadly is going to take it. And then in the main event, we had Ginny versus Kay Lee Ray. This was for the NXT UK Women's Championship. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I was really not expecting much from this match at all. I really wasn't expecting much from this match. I really thought that it was not really going to be a good match, considering that we had like 2 heels. but they actually delivered a fairly decent match. It wasn't anything overbearing. It's not anything you're going to go back and rewatch, but it was actually a fairly decent match. I'm really not opposed to Jinny becoming NXT UK Women's Champion down the line. And I do one day believe that she will become NXT UK Women's Champion. This was not a bad match whatsoever. This was actually fairly good for what it was. This went about 11 minutes. We had Kaylee Ray with the dropkick and the gourd buster for a 2. Jinny came back with a Japanese arm drag, sending Kaylee Ray into the corner. Jinny tried to wear down Kaylee Ray. Jinny with the 2 capo kicks, Ray with the super kick. Both women are down. Kaylee Ray with a super kick and a DDT for 2. She locked in the Koji clutch, but Jinny was able to get out of it. We had a face buster down to the knee. A big lariat for a 2 by Jinny. Connors then got involved. We had a face buster out of the corner, but the ref caught Joseph Connors holding Kaylee Ray's leg. And then the ref ejected Joseph Connors. Joseph Connors got ejected. Kaylee Ray was about to be hit with the championship by Jinny. The ref took the title away from Jinny, and Jinny got caught with the gory bomb. Kaylee Ray retains, rightfully so. This episode of NXT UK really wasn't all that special. Really wasn't anything outside of the match with Kaylee Ray and Jinny for the NXT UK Women's title. Good match, but really nothing overbearing. But we got a good match out of Kaylee Ray and Jinny. Kaylee Ray is doing excellent work, and now Kaylee Ray has Eva Valkyrie in her future. Let us check the chat again before we go to the SmackDown portion of the review. Proud Mixed Child is back. Proud Mixed Child is back. How are you doing? Cameron Johnson, I wish Jinny would have won. Big fan of Jinny. You know, let me tell you something, bro. I understand what you're saying, but Eva Valkyrie, man. Eva Valkyrie is your next champion. Eva Valkyrie's been waiting in the wings. She's been undefeated. Eva Valkyrie is coming for that title, and she's going to be the one to dethrone Kaylee Ray. Just watch. You're still waiting for one more rant? Well, hey, we got SmackDown, so maybe I might as well rant. But you see, you know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for 3 more likes to get to 30 likes. Why aren't we at 30 likes? We're almost at 3 hours. We should already be at 30 likes. Here's what I need y'all to do. We got 11 people watching. Come on. 11 people watching. I want to get to 30 likes. We are over 100 views. I want to get to 30 likes at least. Come on. I bust my ass every week for you people. SmackDown. I'm telling you, people. I'm really telling you. Outside of Roman Reigns, it's the same shit every week. It really is the same shit every week. Outside of Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, the show sucks. The show is lackluster, it's flat, and it's boring. Big boy Johnny's here. How you doing? Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up. Roman and Heyman. Literally, the only good part of the show is Roman Reigns. Anything with Roman Reigns is the only good part of the show. Everything else just feels flat. So Roman and Heyman kicked off the show. Roman looking as confident as ever. So he goes, so KO said he was going to deliver a message. Oh, he's not? Oh, you're not going to see Kevin Owens tonight. Because I said so. Card subject to change. Real clever boys. He says, everyone is beneath me. People who are scared to come to work use the card subject to change excuse. That's how they think. What if I was a puss like Adam Pearce? My neck hurts. My knees hurt. My ankles, they've been bad since college. My back hurts because I've been carrying this company for years now. So Pearce ended up coming out. He says, this is too much. This has gone too far. Roman said, I'll tell you what's out of control. What's out of control is you doing Owens a favor. The fact that you would favor him is out of control, and you have the audacity to complain about your body hurting when you haven't been in a ring in 6 years, and you're standing out here with the thoroughbred of the WWE. Efron Cortez Jr., we're going to talk about Cesaro in just a little bit. I'm just going by the order of things that we saw on SmackDown. We're going to talk about Cesaro in a little bit. So, Roman continued by saying, no wonder why you never made it to the WWE. So Heyman laughed, and Pierce says, I'm not taking anything from you, Heyman. So Heyman took the microphone. He says, whoa, wait a minute. Are you disrespecting me? Then you're disrespecting him too. You don't think I'm capable. You don't think I can handle myself. I will whoop your ass if you disrespect my tribal chief. I'm not a lawyer, but I know a synagogue of them in New York. You want something new? How about Adam Pearce one-on-one straight up versus Paul Heyman? And Adam Pearce says, your formal agreement is official. And I thought that this was excellent. I got no complaints about this segment whatsoever. This segment was excellent stuff. Heyman is gold. Roman is brilliant. And Pierce, I will say, Pierce is playing his role very, very well too. Pierce is playing his role very, very well too. I absolutely fucking love everything that Roman does. I'll say it again. Everything that Roman does is untouchable. The man is absolutely untouchable. This is undoubtedly the best Roman Reigns that we've ever seen. So much so that I think that Roman Reigns right now is probably better than MJF is as a heel right now. And that is saying a lot, I'm telling you. That is saying a lot. Absolutely fucking crazy. Roman Reigns is doing awesome work. Excellent stuff. Sami Zayn came out with a sign that said, #Justice for Sammy, and he handcuffed himself to the barricade. He announced he's entering himself in the Rumble. So he started complaining about his loss to Apollo Crews last week before he was interrupted by Charlotte Flair and Asuka, and we get a tag team match with the Riot Squad. Can I just ask I need to ask a few questions here. Why are you booking this match? Why are you booking this match as a non-title match when realistically neither team can take a loss? Charlotte and Asuka are the champions. They shouldn't be losing. Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, they have been on a winning streak. Realistically, they're the next women's tag team champions. So they should be being built up for a later match, a later title defense. If this match was not going to be a title defense, why are you even booking this match? Again, I am going to ask the question, and this is going to become a regular here on the stream. Does nobody think? Does nobody think? Why book the match if it's not going to be a championship match? They've been on a 3-match winning streak. They should have gotten a title match. If this was not going to be a title match, this should not have been booked, because neither team could have taken a loss in this instance in a non-title match. Common sense! Think, Bruce! Think, Vince! This match was not very good at all. Charlotte, I don't know what the fuck Charlotte was doing. Charlotte was kicking out at one from literally everything. That they were doing. Asuka tagged in. She tried for the Asuka lock. Riot pinned Asuka, but Billie Kay distracted the ref. We had a knee to the face and natural selection, and Asuka and Charlotte win. I don't understand why we even needed this match. I don't know why. Why did we need this match? If this wasn't going to be a title match, why did you even book it? I don't understand. And this is a weekly reminder. 2 weekly reminders. Me. Excuse me. May I please have the attention of the class for 1 second? Ladies and gentlemen, your question here, how do you spell AIDS? Does anyone know how you spell AIDS? Going once, going twice. Time's up. Time's up. This is going to be a question on your next test. You will be tested on this at the end of the year. How do you spell AIDS? AIDS. B-I-L-L-I-E-K-A-Y. AIDS. AIDS. And in case you haven't realized, Billy Kay is AIDS. That's reminder number one. Reminder number two. Fuck blank blank and all of her supporters. Fill in the blank. Fuck blank blank and all of her supporters. Let me know. What is the blank in the chat? Let me know. What is the blank in the chat? I'll give you guys a little bit. I'll give you guys some time. What is the blank? I'm waiting. Fill in the blank. Billy Kay, Proud Mixed Child, Billy Kay, Dana Brooke, and Alicia Fox should all be in catering. They are in catering, dude. They are in catering. Look at that. We just hit 30 likes. Billy Kay is AIDS got me to 30 likes. Can anyone answer my second question? No, not Christina Aguilera. Not fuck Christina Aguilera and all of her supporters. Try again. The answer is, there we go. Efron Cortez Jr. You get the luxury of being the fan of the week. The fan of the week is Efron Cortez Jr. because he answered the question. The answer is fuck Charlotte Flair and all of her supporters. Very nice. So your 2 weekly reminders is that Billy Kay is AIDS and fuck Charlotte Flair and all of her supporters. So Daniel Bryan then came out, moving on here, Daniel Bryan then came out and he talked about the Rumble. Talked about the uncertainty. The buzzer going off. The exhilaration of fighting 29 other men. It makes me feel alive, he says, because the winner gets a title match in the main event of WrestleMania. So Cesaro then interrupted. He said, I could explain the rules in 5 different languages. He says that you're not winning this Rumble. I am. Bryan said, let's fight now. Cesaro said, I'm sick and tired of proving myself. And he challenged anyone in the back to face him. Ziggler came out. He said that he's got stamina that is unmatched. And there is no one that can go toe-to-toe with me except you, Cesaro. Consider your challenge accepted. So we get Cesaro versus Dolph Ziggler. This went about 4 or 5 minutes. They started trading pinfalls back and forth. A beautiful sequence, beautiful stuff right there. Ziggler then with a zigzag for a 2. Cesaro then with a pop-up into the neutralizer for the win. And that was pretty much it. Cesaro got another win. Cesaro has now pinned one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And he's pinned Daniel Bryan. So let's talk about Cesaro, because Efron, I'm sorry, I'm bad with names, but Cortez wanted to talk about Cesaro. Let's talk about Cesaro. Cesaro's been getting a lot of TV time. And Cesaro has gotten 2 big wins. One over a champion, which I don't like, but nevertheless he pinned a champion. And then he beat Daniel Bryan last week. If you guys remember, there was a WrestleVotes tweet that talked about the creative team writing down people that they felt that they felt were the most underutilized. And one of them was Cesaro. So I'm not sure if this is them following up on that and they're starting to utilize Cesaro more. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Could Cesaro potentially fight Big E at WrestleMania, or maybe even earlier than that, and win the Intercontinental title? That's a possibility. They could absolutely do that. Now, I would like to hope, I would like to believe that they're going to do that. I would like to believe that this is going to result in something, but you need to remember that this is the WWE. They could easily just say, fuck this, completely scrap the plans, and then Cesaro and Nakamura will be fighting Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler for the SmackDown Tag Team titles at the Elimination Chamber. They could easily do that. Easily. With this company, you cannot give them the benefit of the doubt. Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing with the WWE. So, you cannot, and I'm telling you, you cannot give the WWE the benefit of the doubt in any way, shape, or form. Until it actually happens, until I actually see it, until I actually see WWE putting Cesaro in an Intercontinental title match against Big E, I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe it. I'd like to hope, but I'm not giving this company the benefit of the doubt. I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to watch. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch and I'm going to wait and see what happens. When I see it happen, then I will believe it. But to be quite honest with you, I really don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. I'd like to believe, but I don't. We got Sasha Banks versus Reginald. Reginald was flipping and flopping and flying all over the ring. I don't know why they fucking booked this match. It was better than expected. I didn't expect it to be a Matt Classic, but it was better than expected. This was better than expected, but this was still nothing to invest your time in. Sasha made Reginald tap out to the bank statement. We get Sasha and Carmella at the Royal Rumble for the SmackDown Women's title. And I hope to God that is the end of this Carmella and Sasha Banks storyline. What Sasha Banks has been doing ever since she won the title from Bayley has been irrelevant. Moving on here, we have Big E and Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental title. This started out hot right out of the gate. Crews with an enziguri, a big boot, and a standing moonsault for a 2. Crews came back with some German suplexes. We then had Big E with the big Uranagi for a 2. Crews then with a moonsault off the apron. Crews with a drop kick from the middle rope. At this point, Sammy actually unhandcuffed himself. He was handcuffed out there all fucking night, and he was waiting for the right time. He was waiting for the right time. He was waiting for the right time to unhandcuff himself. And then we have Sammy delivering a haluva kick to Apollo and a haluva kick to Big E. Now, let's talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about the Intercontinental title for a minute. Big E's the Intercontinental Champion. He did a damn good job with Apollo Crews. He did a damn good job with Apollo Crews 2 weeks ago on SmackDown, and I had no problem with it. Now, here's the problem that I have. I do not mind Big E and Sami Zayn and Apollo Crews in a triple threat match for the IC title. Matter of fact, I can see that happening at the Elimination Chamber. Both men are in the Rumble. Both men are in the Rumble, so I can see this match happening at the Elimination Chamber. But the thing that I'm pissed about is the fact that why do you need to go set up a match only to have that match end in a non-finish? Do you really need to set up another match between Big E and Apollo Crews just to have Sami Zayn interfere? Apollo pinned Sami last week. That should have been your segue to just book the triple threat match to begin with. That should have been your segue to book a triple threat match to begin with. We did not need to have Big E and Apollo Crews for the IC title just to have the match end in a non-finish. I don't understand the point of having these non-finishes and having these matches lead to other matches. How many fucking non-finishes did we get between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura before we eventually got the last man standing match? That should have been the match that we should have gotten from the beginning. I don't get it. I do not fucking get it. Enough of these non-finishes. You should be able to come up with a more creative way to get a matchup. You should be able to come up with a more creative way to book a matchup other than setting up a match only to have it end in a non-finish. These concepts are outdated. These concepts are lame. These concepts are just flat out tiresome. They really are. I don't understand. Sonya Deville talked to the Street Profits, and she said to relax and heal up your leg, Montez, and let some other teams into the spotlight. Really? Some other teams in the spotlight? Who? Gable and Otis? Cesaro and Nakamura? They haven't shown any interest in pushing Cesaro and Nakamura into the tag team title hunt. Nakamura is hanging around the main event scene as Cesaro is hanging around the upper mid-card. Nakamura could very well get a fucking Universal title match at Elimination Chamber. Who's going to face off against Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler? Who? Who's going to face off against the Dirty Dogs? Bayley had the obstacle course set. Oh, here we go. The obstacle course. Bayley had the obstacle course set up. So Bayley explained the rules of the obstacle course. She flipped the tire. She went around the hurdles. She actually walked around the military wall. She didn't give a shit. So obviously she cheated. She carried Gable. And then she finished out with the basketball. And that took about 1:12. Bayley then asked to fix up the course for Bianca. And they did. And Bianca absolutely fucking embarrassed Bayley. She ran the hurdles. She actually carried Otis. The woman actually carried Otis with ease. So that was pretty fucking impressive right there by Bianca. Bianca wins with 17 seconds to spare. And then Bayley attacked Bianca afterwards and left her laying. Here's the question that I want to ask. Because I know that WWE officials are watching me. I know that WWE officials watch me week in and week out. I know that I have people swinging from my pubic hair. I know. Here's the question I want to ask. Why did you revive something? Why did you revive something from the Bobby Lashley-Sami Zayn storyline? Why did you revive this military-like obstacle course? Why did you book a segment to showcase Bianca Belair in a manner in which we already know what she's capable of? What was the point of this segment? What did this segment do? What did this segment tell us about Bianca Belair that we don't already know? She's athletic, she's strong, she's powerful, she's got a lot of stamina, and she may very well be the best overall athlete, not just in the women's division, but in the entire WWE. She may be the best overall athlete in the entire WWE. What the fuck was the point of this segment? What was the point of it? They have absolutely fucking ruined this entire Bayley-Bianca storyline. These two women should have been on the pre-show for TLC. These two women should have been on the TLC card, and they weren't. Instead, you had a fucking 8-man tag on the TLC card, and you wasted these two women's match on SmackDown Live on Fox. And then on top of that, you ended Bianca Belair's undefeated streak for this bullshit. You ended Bianca Belair's undefeated streak for this bullshit. Bayley's a made woman. She should have lost to Bianca Belair. Now, you're having Bayley play a fucking ding-dong, hello, talk show host. And on top of that, now she's doing a fucking American Ninja Warrior military-like obstacle course with Bianca Belair. We already know that Bianca Belair is powerful. We already know she's athletic. We already know she's got a lot of stamina. She's the best overall athlete in the entire WWE. We already know this shit. We already know. Bianca Belair should be winning. Bianca Belair should be competing in matches. She should be being built up to face off against Sasha Banks or a potential Bayley if she wins back the title, which I don't think she is. But she should be being built up to face off against the SmackDown Women's Champion. That is the point. So I don't understand why the fuck we needed this segment. This was a waste of 7 fucking minutes. 7 minutes that could have gone to fucking Dolph Ziggler and Cesaro. Unfucking real. Dominic Mysterio versus Baron Corbin. End of days in 2 minutes for the win. Who gives a shit? And then in the main event, we were supposed to get Adam Pearce versus Paul Heyman. Heyman walked up the steps and he tripped. Heyman said card subject to change. Roman Reigns comes out. Superman punch to Pearce. And then Reigns with a low blow to Pearce. He sent Pearce into the virtual fans. Owens made his way into the building. He attacked Reigns. Stunner to Reigns. Owens kept the offense on Reigns. We had another stunner and a pop-up powerbomb through the announce table, and Owens stands tall. Owens stands tall. That was pretty much that. You can't really do too much. Outside of Roman Reigns, the show was lackluster, the show was boring, the show was flat, and the show was flat out terrible. And it is not a fucking coincidence. I'm going to say this again. It is not a fucking coincidence that we have Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman in full creative control of the Roman Reigns character and Roman Reigns' booking, and it's the best thing on the show. It's literally the best thing in all of WWE. What is the best thing in all of WWE right now? Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is the best thing in all of WWE right now. Outside of Roman Reigns, there is literally no redeeming qualities about Raw or SmackDown. Everything just feels flat. And that's not by design. That's not a coincidence. It further validates the point that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard need to be removed from their position. And that was that. We got one more show to go over. We're going to go over 205 Live in a little bit. Let's check the chat. Apparently, I got 7 dislikes. Who cares? I still have 30 likes. And you know something? These trolls are coming in. These trolls are coming in to give me a free view. You do realize that, whoever's watching and who's ever hitting the dislikes, you do realize that I have you by the balls, right? You do realize that I own you. I pretty much own you. I'm the highlight of your pathetic lives. You come here to dislike my stream, but you're giving me a free view. I have how many playbacks? I got about 164 playbacks. And you're helping me with those playbacks because you're giving me views. Like or dislike, you're giving me views, so I win. Therefore, I own your punk ass. What are you gonna do? You can't touch me. Anyway. So, HGFO wants me to ask another question. Well, alright. I actually do want to ask a question to you. HGFO, is this your first time watching me, or are you a regular subscriber? That's a question for you. Are you a regular subscriber? He wants another question. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Third. This is your third time watching me. Really? It's your third time watching me right here. I like it. Let me check Twitter. Twitter's blowing up for me. Twitter's absolutely blowing up for me. Twitter always blows up for me. What am I talking about? You're a big fan. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, we're going to get into 205 Live, and then we're going to get out of here because I'm actually very hungry. I think I'm having shrimp tacos tonight. For dinner. So, let's get through 205 Live. This ain't my home. This is a secret location. Remember that. This is my StormStream lair. Mojo. Earl Cole, did you like the stream? Earl Cole, I hope you liked the stream. Mojo, please like the stream as well if you haven't already done so. So, let's get into 205 Live, and then we're going to get out of here. So, not as good as last week, 205 Live. Really, a very skippable episode of 205 Live. We had Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade versus Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. This was the first round women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match. Jade and Dolan, they tried to gain the early advantage. Jade then was wore down by the way. We had a tag to Dolan. We had a roundhouse kick to Hartwell and a punt kick for a 2. Hartwell with a vertical suplex, and then Cora Jade got caught with a back suplex side slam, and the way advance. Very, very standard match right here. Indy Hartwell's fucking terrible. Gigi Dolan barely, and Cora Jade, they barely even got a showcase. I don't know what they were going for. But Indy Hartwell's fucking terrible. Is she as bad as Billie Kay? No. She's not as bad as Billie Kay. She's not as bad as Billie Kay whatsoever. Matter of fact, the one thing with Indy is the fact that she can deliver a move fine. She can deliver a move just fine. I don't mind the moves that she delivers. She can deliver a move just fine. Her problem is her selling and the fact that she can't move. Billie Kay can't do anything right. Billie Kay can't do fucking anything right. So Indy Hartwell's not as bad as Billie Kay. She just needs to work on her selling, and she needs to work on her movement because she's not very smooth in the ring. Mojo asks, how do you subscribe to my channel? Well, there's a subscribe button. The subscribe button is right down there. Subscribe button is right down there. Hit the button and turn on that bell for all notifications. That's what I need y'all to do. Hit that sub button and turn on the bell for all notifications. So that was the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match. Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae advance as expected. Indy Hartwell needs a lot of fucking work. I don't know why she's even on television. She is not good at selling, and she does not move well at all. She really doesn't. 205 Live, main event was Tony Nese and Ariya Daivari versus Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa. First round, Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match. Decent little match right here. Nese and Daivari targeted the injured knee of Ciampa before Ciampa made the tag to Thatcher. We had some belly-to-belly suplexes. Nese and Daivari then hit the top rope stun gun and a triangle moonsault by Nese. We had a Persian lion splash by Daivari. Ciampa saved the match. Ciampa was then tagged in by Thatcher. Ciampa and Thatcher hit both men with an uppercut and a boot. Ciampa then hit Willow's bell, and Ciampa pinned, I believe it was Arya Daivari for the win, if I'm not mistaken. He pinned Arya Daivari, and Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher are moving on to the next round. So, here's what I think of this. Here's where I see this going, and then we're going to get out of here. Nice and Daivari were sacrificial lambs for Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa. I don't think this feud is over. This feud is not over. If anything, I can see them losing to Undisputed Era, and they should lose to the Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era advances, and we're going to see a third match between the two, between Ciampa and Thatcher, possibly at TakeOver, because Ciampa won one. Ciampa beat Thatcher at TakeOver War Games, and then Thatcher beat Ciampa in the Fight Pit. They're 1-1, so it would make sense to have the blow-off match. And if anything, I can see Ciampa coming out victorious. If anything, Ciampa realistically should be fighting Finn Balor for the NXT title, if we're going to be quite honest. Ciampa should be fighting Finn Balor for the NXT title. Of course I change people's minds, HGFO. I mean, come on. I'm DJ Storms. I am the best in the game. I am the king. And you know what they say, you can't touch the king. You can't touch the king, baby. You can't touch the king. But that was 205 Live. Really nothing special. We got a decent main event. Decent match. Timothy Thatcher and Ciampa advance in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We got Ciampa and Thatcher versus the Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era, I can see beating them. And then I can see the Undisputed Era losing to the Grizzled Young Veterans in the semifinals. Ciampa and Thatcher will probably go into a third match. And then that will be the end of the feud. Thatcher's not bad. He's just boring. Ciampa honestly deserves a lot better. I really do hope to see him fighting Finn Balor for the NXT title sooner rather than later. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone over 3 hours yet again. I am looking to get out of here. I am looking to get out of here. It is time to relax for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got 34 likes. We're closing out with 34 likes. We're closing out with 34 likes, and we are going to get things wrapped up. We're going to get things wrapped up, and I would like to thank each and every single one of you. I'd like to thank Proud Mixed Child. I'd like to thank Earl. I'd like to thank Cool King, Rob Wells Jr. I'd like to thank Danielle K., and David Maniscalco for watching. Thank you, Mojo. Thank you, Joseph Conlon. Thank you, Jessica. I know she was watching while she was at work. Thank you, Efron Cortez Jr. Thank you, Big Boy Johnny 25. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Nick Fury. Thank you, Cameron Johnson. Thank you, everyone. I greatly appreciate all of you. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Next Friday, Earl Cole is joining me for the rundown for the Royal Rumble 2021. We're going to dissect everything going down at the Rumble. Of course, a Lightning Flash update stream next week. Take care. God bless. Share out the streams as always. Keep on hitting that like button. Keep on commenting. Keeping the chat alive. Keep on hitting that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications. As always, thank you all. I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update, and I'm going to catch all of you next Friday. Of course, Cameron Johnson, I will be appearing on his podcast very, very soon. You guys were amazing. You guys were excellent. God bless all of you, and I will catch you next Friday for the rundown with Mr. Earl Cole. Stay safe. Peace out from the King.